build night with Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm a little, not really sure what I'm doing right now, but we're going to make it up as we go along.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're here with Ben Greenewald, who is going to be leading us through the build of a flight test mini aero. We've got Dan Sponholtz, who is frozen up in Wisconsin. Eddie Black, who is at a 13-year-old's birthday party right now on a phone with very splotchy reception. And so hopefully some friends joining us here and there. And we're just here to have a kind of a community hangout. You don't have to build to be here. You don't have to do. You don't have to build an arrow to be here. You just have to be here. And I don't know what to say other than that.
It's a fine introduction. Fine introduction.
I try, bro.
All right, guys. Well, like you said, I'm BG Fire Guy 92, otherwise known as Ben. Everybody else calls me Big Ben. The vision behind tonight, just we're going to go over it very quickly, is to give you guys kind of a synopsis of what we're going to be doing here. What Eddie and Pat actually started. Is, hopefully all of you guys listened to the number 8 podcast from the Flight Test Community Cast. So you guys can already kind of have a heads up. But just in case you don't, just to give you a brief synopsis of what we're doing here. Tonight, I'm actually going to be the builder. We have Joel Cannon. He's running the camera for us. And again, you already got all the introductions from everybody else. What we're going to be doing is actually building something live while streaming on air to you guys out there in the community. We do have a live Q&A already up. Okay. I'm sorry, I already got a comment saying my microphone needs to be a little bit better. So hopefully that is okay. What we're doing is having a live community thing where we don't have to rely on a geographical nature in order to be able to build with other people. Um, oh, wow, brain fart. Help me out.
I
So,
smelled it.
yeah, thank you. It's burning circuits and everything else here. As you can hear, right now I'm the only one up on the video feed, but we are going to be taking and having Dan Sponholtz and Pat are going to be taking and providing us with plucky commentary, as I've been calling it. The point behind that is that if you guys just wanted to watch a guy build in an FT Aero, you can all go to flighttest.com and watch Josh Bixler do it in a much more time manageable way. So what we want to do is have people be able to come on, build a plane, and have fun while doing it and talking to other people. This is not going to be just flight test planes either. This is going to be community driven. And yes, Pat is full of plucky commentary. He's full of something else. We are going to try to keep this at a PG-13 level, but
Thanks for reminding me.
no guarantees. And being that this is a live stream, we're not going to be able to edit it afterwards. Okay.
There's no dump button?
There's no dump button.
Oh, no.
So whatever you dump out your mouth is what they're going to hear.
Oh,
Be
boy.
careful, Pat.
Pat's
Yeah.
gonna need to behave tonight.
So what we're doing is we're going to have other people throughout the community. I was speaking with another gentleman, and he actually put me onto a guy that we had talked about during the podcast that is doing a PBY Catalina. He's doing a mini version. Local Fiend. I hope you're listening. If not, I hope you join us in the future. I'd actually like to have somebody like that come in, build a plane, and have their own panel of guests to be able to provide those commentary stuff to keep everything lively. This is going to be maybe a once-a-month thing, maybe twice, depending on it. And we might cover everything from having Spawns coming back on and explaining about printing off stuff, because I know everybody's always asking him about, hey, how do you print this off correctly so my plans line up, tiling, making templates, and that kind of stuff, to the end product. The goal of it is to have a maiden-ready plane. That's why on the Facebook page, the FD Groups page, everything, I gave you guys a small list of what we're going to need to do tonight. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be actually I will be installing the electronics, but I'm not going to be centering the servos or anything else like that. So this is basically just a come and hang out session. Eddie, would you or anybody else verify or deny that? I mean, or difference of opinion maybe?
No, I think you nailed it right on the head there. I apologize if I've got crappy signal right now. I'm standing outside in the rain under a under a gutter right now, trying to get good signal.
Hey,
But
Eddie.
yes,
Did you get some birthday cake yet?
no, not yet. I just have Mountain Dew, and it's very disappointing Mountain Dew.
Yeah, okay. It's not official Kentucky Mountain Dew, I guess.
Just out of the green bottle.
Or what was that stuff they were trying to pound off for a while? Dew shine.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
That was pretty good, actually. That was.
Oh man, you guys are getting bad
Yeah,
taste.
no, Erica. It was at Flight Fest last year when Erica Monroe drugged me to the store and said, "Hey, man, we got to try this," and it was really good.
Yeah, I tried it at a concert. It's actually really good. It's kind of surprising.
So, anything else you guys want to add in here or whatever, or if not, we'll kind of get started.
The only thing I would like to add is just thank you everybody for being a part of this.
Absolutely.
This was kind of just a fluke idea that I threw at Pat, and seeing it come to this kind of magnitude is really awesome.
I didn't duck quick enough. So, is anybody out there? I wonder.
I don't know. I know. And by the way, since he was the original spawn of this Flight Test Community Cast, I know that Mike Finley is out there. He already bounced in here and put something. I do know that Ryan Papp's listening. If anybody else is out there, again, there is a Q&A section to this. So if you're watching this on Google Plus, you'll actually be able to click on the spot where it says ask a question. If you're watching this on YouTube, in the lower left corner, it'll say, please interact, or would you like to interact with this? And you click on that, it'll actually bring you to Google Plus, so you guys can ask questions on air. Ask us anything. Ask me, why did I do something a certain way? Ask Pat why he liked some funky soda called Dew Shine.
Did you
Ask me why I messed up the CG location on the FT Sparrow.
I'm pretty sure Ben just said douche 9.
No, well, I said Dew Shine, but
PG-13. PG-13.
That is PG-13.
I know. I'm just helping you.
I need all I can get. Hey, we got there's John Davis. He said hi there. Hello, John. Ryan, Crash Recovery. Do you like speed build or printed plans, Ben?
I'm a scratch builder. I
Ben
really
likes my
like
plans.
I will do whatever I can, wherever I can. But I like printing out plans and then going from there. Trying to get into my own designs, it's going really, really, really badly. But because Lord knows I'm no spawns.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, you'll have to take Peter's from brain to plane or something, whatever his workshop is.
At Flight Fest.
Yes.
Yep, and which, again, we're all a bunch of flight test community guys. That's how we all met. So I really hope everybody's able to come out to Flight Test this year, which, give them a short plug, is July 14th through 17th, correct, guys?
I believe that is correct.
Okay, so July 14th through 17th over at Malvern. It's great times. You don't even have to spend all the time flying, which is what we all want to do, but we all have a good time just hanging with each other. So really hoping that everyone's able to come out this year, make an even bigger event. Force them to get off the Fury's property because we're so big.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right.
Blake Ziegler, who I saw today earlier, just says YouTube says 12 people are watching. 12. We're up to. That's more than I thought would come.
All right. And my camera guy is yelling at me to quit John and get to building, get to cracking. So.
Hi, Joel.
Yeah, Joel's back there in the background. Hey, Joel, key up so that way everybody knows you're not a robot.
Hey everybody, I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm with my friend Tim over at his house, so I'm running controls from the background. I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Again, everybody who's watching, thank you. And I am alive, I do exist. Here, I'm going to key up the camera so you can see that it's actually me talking. And I'm going to go hover in the background again. You guys have fun and keep it PG-13.
Yes,
Tell Tim we said hi,
So,
whoever he is.
that's the RC newbie guy, Tim's friend.
Oh,
Just
okay.
started.
Right. I remember Tim.
All right, guys. Well, let's go over a build list real quick. What we're gonna need. Yesterday in preparation, I'm gonna click up my camera so the overhead so we can see it. Hopefully Joel's got that picked up so everybody in the world's seeing it. I went ahead and cut out the plans. I have a template for the Arrow already because absolutely one of my favorite planes, guys. I love this plane. I love the way it flies. I love, I'm a wing guy anyway, so having fun and just speeding around is really, really my thing. So I went ahead and cut out all this stuff off my template. I didn't do some of it. I figured some of it we can go through. There's little modifications here and there that I've learned to do, make it a little easier, faster to build. And then I actually prefer using 9-gram servos. Me and Spawns were having this talk a while ago. I hate 5 grams. It just seems like unless you get the Emax, which are pretty expensive, and I'm a cheap, I almost went R-rated there. I'm a tight one when it comes to
It's pretty early for that.
yeah, real early for that. I am a tight one when it comes to spending money. I can show you my garage where I'm at. My wife says that I've got way too many planes as it is, and I say there's no such thing as too many planes. How dare you go away? But I prefer 9 grams, so there's a little bit of a modification. Like you can see, I've got it traced out for a 5 gram on my spar. I'm going to modify it. I'll show you what I do, and if there's anything that you guys want to ask a question about or why I did it this way, or even if there's a different way that you guys do it, please say something on the Q&A and speak up. All right, and we're all about criticism and concerns here. I mean, we all like to criticize Pat, so it makes it easy for us.
And it's easy to do.
And it's very easy to do.
I'm an easy target.
I got my plans already cut out. Get these off the board so that way we can keep going.
Hi, Gary.
Obviously, the 9-gram servos. I already got my control horns installed and centered, and it's just a time-saving process for this build video that we're doing with you guys. So control horns is centered and installed. I like linkage stoppers, and I think that for the extra half a gram that you're spending or you're wasting on the weight issue, I think it makes life just that much easier.
Yeah, hey, we have a question from alternate source. Where do we get our linkage stoppers from? Personally, I have 2 sources. One would be Flight Test. My second would be headsuphobby.com. It's one of my favorite online vendors. They're awesome.
Yep.
I actually like to use the ones that I pick up from my local hobby shop, which are the Dubro ones that don't have a nut on the bottom, but they have like a plastic kind of pressure fit, almost washer that kind of snaps onto the bottom of it.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about the nut loosening up or putting Loctite on there. So those are the ones I like to use, the Dubro linkage stoppers myself.
It's almost like a snap collar, right?
Yep, something like that. It's not a snap ring, but it's a little plastic.
Yeah, it's like a really hard rubber that takes quite a bit to push onto it, and once it's on, it's really hard to get off.
Correct. Yeah, and I've never had a problem with one of those popping off, but I have, used the ones with the nut on the bottom and failed to use Loctite because I'm cheap and lazy sometimes, and those sometimes fall off.
Yeah, and then you can bring it back and just happen to look and you go, oh crap, that'd have been interesting. That would have popped out in mid-flight.
Or have them fall off mid-flight and have to build a new plane. Yep.
I've had that happen.
Oh yeah. My linkage stoppers, I actually, if I don't get them from Flight Test, which we all try to support them as much as possible, I end up doing a lot of shopping for some of my stuff on Amazon. And the reason is, being a Prime member, it's nice being able to get that stuff in 2 days, and not having to really wait for someone to ship it out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Indeed.
So that's me personally. But so continuing on, a couple push rods. I actually quit buying push rods, a year ago or so, and bought one of these doohickeys. Nice little Z bender. So that way I can make them to whatever length I have. Have you guys seen that Dubro one?
No.
It's like $48.
What?
Yeah,
I got
but
two.
it's
I got two needle nose pliers, man. I can bend those things all day long.
oh
I
yeah.
got the China knockoff one from Hobby King for about $13, and it works really well.
I wish I could pull it up. The Dubro one. It's actually the only reason I like it. The only reason I'd spend the money is it doesn't do just Z bends. It can do whatever angle you want it to be.
Really?
So it's really nice for making landing gear. I think it'd be the only advantage to it, but I can't justify spending $43 for.
So it's kind of like a sheet metal brake for wire.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So that way you can bend it to whatever shape you want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I might have to look into that now.
Yeah. I've been eyeballing it for a while. So I still go to my local hobby store and I get the music wire. And if I need something like if I'm making a combat plane, I go with a much heavier gauge wire, but I get a thicker diameter wire and linkage stopper that can still take that. They come in different sizes. So
Well, you better get the extra heavy duty this summer because I'm going to be flying combat.
that's fine. I'm all for that. If my plans come together like I want, I'm going to have a monstrosity to take you all out anyway, so I don't care.
I laugh at you.
Keegan and I are working on a new combat chip that we're going to debut at Flight Fest as well.
Yeah.
I laugh at you too.
Yeah, you can laugh all you want, Pat.
Bring it on, bro.
You know what? And I hope he's out there listening. Last year's Flight Fest, Julian came up with the Valkyrie, which I think is unique design. We'll call it that. But was just a beast. And I've got something in mind I've been working on. And I am going to. My goal is to take Julian's Valkyrie out. I know he's working on a new design. But I'm ready and all winning for all comers. And Pat, you don't even worry me, to be honest.
Well, the guys who you don't worry about are the ones you should worry about. But hang on a sec. I got a text from Mike that said the video feed froze. Is there anybody out there that can hear us or see us right now, or is this a local thing on Mike's
here
side?
on the Q&A, is the video still good? Oh, and he actually said survey flags. That's actually a pretty good idea too.
Yeah.
Very good. You know what? I still want to do that bomb drop with the survey flags like they did in that one episode a long time ago.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Gary. Hey, that episode where they did the bomb drop where they tied Josh and Chad.
Mm-hmm.
I won an FT fan pack from
Yeah,
that episode.
that's right.
Just
Someone
saying.
was kissing butt.
Do you wear a fanny pack?
That's what I heard.
I'm sexy in it too. With my Speedo.
Oh, PG-13.
PG-13, please.
I didn't put up a picture. That's your mental image. You can make it whatever you want.
Hey, I've seen you in person, Grizzly Bear. All right, nobody wants that. Anyway, obviously, a glue gun. I got a Sherbander 80. I've been really debating about getting that AdTech Pro 200 though. I like it. Depending on what kind of blade you want to use. I mean, I've got the X-Acto 8mm flat blades. My little Husky, this one I use for the fire department, but it's almost like a wannabe switchblade or the razor blade. Actually, I've taken to cutting more of my plans out with this anymore than I have anything else. It's kind of weird. Oh, so first tip of the night. I found a guy, and I apologize for not knowing his name, who was talking about cutting out curves, and especially once I saw how many, um, Dan, what do you call those things on the trailing edge of your Bloody Baron?
Swoops,
Swoops?
scallops.
Scallops. There we go. I looked at that and went, oh crap, you know. So I saw that, and this guy had posted this article about a tool for cutting curves. Went to my local hobby place, Hobby Lobby, really is where I got it, and this thing is awesome. So it's made by Fiskars,
Oh yeah, I have one of those too.
I've never
and
seen one of those before.
oh,
It's
these
a
are
little
nice.
finger knife that uses a number 11 X-Acto blade.
I
Yep.
see that.
So literally, the nice thing about it is you put it on your hand like this, and as I'm literally just like what I would trace my finger, like if however I want to move the finger, the blade follows it. I know it's kind of bad camera angle, but you know what I mean?
I
And
got you.
this works great for cutting curves. Absolutely great.
Okay.
So, yep, made by Fiskars, carries a number 11 blade. Find it at your local hobby store or hobbylobby.com. What else? The last little piece. I don't remember who I saw did this. Oh, Andre. Andre's got a carbon fiber landing
Okay.
skid, and I'm cheap. So I have taken to putting a paint stirrer. I cut it off and I glue it on the bottom of the plane so that way, since these are belly landers, it comes in and doesn't do it. I tend to tape all the bottom of mine with clear packing tape anyway, just so that way, the plane lasts a little bit longer. Such as, stand by.
They're crazy up in Canada.
Yeah. Hey, Joel, kick up the main camera, not the overhead. So, this is I called it my German arrow.
Joe fell asleep.
Yeah, probably did.
I wonder what that's like.
I don't know. What is sleep? So,
Joe?
Joel,
Joe?
camera guy,
Yes.
can you kick up the other camera from me?
I've been actually bouncing you back and forth so people can see both what's in your hand and what you're showing.
Oh, okay.
And I have a live version of the feed over here, so I can see exactly what's going out to the stream too, thanks to Tim. So, have fun, guys.
All right. This is my German arrow. One I built. Josh liked it so much he kicked it up on the main page. This thing is a basher. I took it to an indoor fest where I actually took out 2 Sport Cub S's, another wing, a Champ, and 2 tissue planes, tissue and stick built planes, which.
That's just mean, Ben.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I felt so bad. You could have heard that entire auditorium. I mean, like a pin drop. I swear to God, all planes froze in the air when it happened. There was some brownout issues with the controllers, is why this crashed. But so, yeah, great plane, love it. So that's why we're gonna build one tonight. So
Crashes well, too, it sounds like.
it crashes very well, and I actually. Oh, you don't talk about crash? Here you go. Where did it go?
Where'd he go?
Hey,
Hello?
sorry, I'm in my garage.
That backdrop reminds me of, you ever watch Dexter?
No, I'm not.
Okay, never mind then.
So some of my
I
friends.
have watched Guy on a Buffalo,
Guy on a buffalo.
so let's not go there.
I built a night flyer, and some of my friends that have Snapchat, like Pat and Dan, some other ones, saw the aftermath. This is one that I actually crashed into a tombstone in a cemetery at about 12:30 at night while I was working.
And he drives an ambulance, which makes you nervous.
Yeah. And actually, I was on duty. I had just got done building it, and we said, let's go out and try it real quick. And yeah, this is the aftermath.
Why is an ambulance at a cemetery?
At 12:30 at night.
It sounds a little sketchy, bro.
There's
Hey,
less people hanging out there at 12:30. That's why.
Yeah, it crashes really well. There was a guy just on Flight Test Fans that had one that was almost ripped in half like this. Some tape and some tape and glue, and he had that thing back in the air the next day. And they crashed very, very well. So
I take it that's a good thing.
yeah, hey,
Okay.
we can't all be a Pat. We can't all fly like Pat. All right?
Well, it's a lot to live up to.
It is. You want to talk about your steerman and your flying ability?
You know, sometimes the planet gets in the way, and you can't do anything about it.
Ain't torque roll a son of a gun?
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a tip stall.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, is everyone talking in the Hangout building? Is everyone that is talking in the Hangout building? We have a Hangout building?
I have a hangout building. I have.
Ben's in his garage. I'm in my basement. Ben's in Chicago-ish. I'm in Pennsylvania. Dan is in somewhere in Wisconsin.
I'm in Wisconsin in my basement.
Eddie's standing in the rain at a 13-year-old's birthday party.
That just sounds creepy.
Yeah, ain't it? Where's the cattle prod? Why? Who's talking about cattle prods and why are we bringing them up, Pat?
That's
That
right.
must be guy on a buffalo thing.
Oh, the guy on the buffalo thing. Gotcha. All
Anyway,
right.
I guess the point is let's get to building.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Hopefully everybody's got all their stuff done. If you don't, please follow along. Or if you got it all done, please follow along. If you don't, no worries. All right. So, Joel, I hope you got me on the overhead one now because we're going to start. I can't tell what he's doing.
I can't either.
So, okay. So I'm going to start with the right wing. Yes, I am a dummy, and I like to write down right wing on mine when I cut it out, so that way I know it's the right one. This one, when we get done with it tonight, is actually going to become my new FPV one. So I've already cut everything out. I do the center pods. So I like that center pod. There's been a few designs out there that are a little bit different. I've seen some 3D printed ones. I've seen a double pod. Did you guys see that on Flight Test Fans? The guy actually did a double center pod and had dual pusher on the rear end.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I've already got my score lines cut. I have not cut out the hole for my servo, but everything else is trimmed. So first things being first, scene safety, and if I can, you know what? That's why I put my stuff right here. Because when I buy blades, I get 110 at a time. Because more economical, and I'm lazy to go out and buy new ones.
You can always use like 1,200 sandpaper and.
I don't like it. I've never had good success trying to do the sandpaper method.
Okay.
Or you could do what the Bixler did, the pen for the kids now for crushing it. You know?
Oh.
So let's cut our first double bevel. And this is where we like the plucky comments because it's dead air.
You did way better than I ever do with that. You know how you were talking about Dan's scalloped trailing edges?
Mm-hmm.
That's what mine looked like when I tried to do it that way.
That's what your bevels come out looking like? That's nice.
Pretty much.
Hey, you know what? That's a skill right there. I don't care who you are.
No, I want them to come out straight, though.
Oh. Well, then you know what you do is you tell everybody that this is how I meant it to come out and, run with it.
Oh, I that's how I handle it, but, I know deep inside where, when I'm in my lonely place, I'm stuck there. That's not true.
As my dad used to say, when no one's around and you can't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
So.
They're not that hard. Just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, it did. It took a lot of practice for me to get to this point. I'm not gonna lie.
I've cut through a lot of paper trying to cut bevels. Little tape, good as new.
Yeah, you know what? I still do every once in a while. I got a little one right here. So
Oh, Breezerfish asks, is there any certain technique to getting a good freehand bevel? Breezerfish, yes, and I don't know what that is.
Unless you like scalped
Unless you
bevels,
like
then
scalped.
then Pat can help you out immensely.
I can help you out there.
I would just say practice, practice, practice. The more planes you build, especially if you're new to scratch building, it's a little intimidating cutting the bevels, but after you've done it for a while, it's second nature.
Yep.
Oh, okay, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan made a mention about discuss using table edge and metal ruler. So yes, there are techniques where you can guide the razor blade along. Like if you hang the edge of what you're cutting over a table, or like Ben is doing now with the straight edge, you can help yourself out there.
Yep.
Yep.
And it works.
Yeah, I've
Thank you,
tried
Ryan.
that a few times too. It's kind of personal preference, I think. I'm just used to really doing the freehand, but I've done so many that it's like I said, it just becomes second nature after a while.
Yeah, the straight edge was fine. Sandpaper. The biggest thing is like with anything we do in the RC hobby, you got to find what works for you. You know what I mean? If some people can only use a straight edge and cut that, you go for that. If I did it so much, I think I went through half a box of foam board because I order them by the box. I don't go and buy them a couple sheets at a time. I think I went through half a box, and that's all I did at work and at home for like 3 days was just practice freehanding. I just find it's a lot easier. I can keep my angle a lot better. The Josh talks about it all the time. Make sure you've got a really sharp razor blade. I mean, that is definitely the biggest key that I have found. You don't get that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're starting to tear paper or rip foam or anything, you need a new blade.
Yeah. So John Davis, the voodoo magic to get that bevel is apparently you have to buy an entire box of foam board and sit for 3 or 4 days just cutting bevels.
Here, let me find a piece of. Well, you know what? The plane's already been ripped in half, so it volunteered itself to help with the community cast build nights. So, like this blade it might feel sharp. Oops, sorry, my apologies. It might feel sharp, but it's not. And of course, it's going to prove me a liar.
That looks really good.
Right? There we go. It's starting to do it now. See, that's the big thing. Yeah, it balls or clumps up. I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but it balls up or clumps up. If it's starting to do that, swap it out. Get yourself a new one. It's not worth it, especially if you're, in a hurry trying to make sure you get a plane built. It's just not worth it, in my opinion.
Yep, blades are cheap if you buy them in bulk.
Exactly. I think that I have Menards here in the Midwest. I think you got it up there too, Dan, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Home Depot, and I get this. It's 110 blades for $11. So literally, it's about 10 cents a blade. So,
That's good math.
thank you. That was very quick math.
Really?
Yes, very quick. And I'm probably going to have somebody come on and tell me I'm a moron, and it actually comes out to like 10.6.
He had that written down ahead of time.
We're not taking tax into account.
No tax here. So after you get your double bevel cut, I don't go in the same order as Bixler. Does anybody actually follow him verbatim?
No.
Build videos?
No. But the great thing about those videos is they're videos, so you can jump around all you want.
Yeah. I think the very first one, when I'm first building a plane, before I do anything else, I will follow it along. Stop and go. But after that, I tend to do it in my own order. I like we're building the Arrow. I like doing the double bevel, kind of getting that curve in, and then I build my what do you call it? Build my spar. Oops, sorry about that audio for a second.
What's a build video? Since I started doing the plans, I haven't really gotten the luxury of having a build video to build.
Yes, a build video. It's this miracle of technology where they show us how it's actually done. So,
Hey, there's a question from Alex Houston. Are we taking requests for the next build night plane?
absolutely. I am actually, if we do another flight test plane, that's fine. I'd actually like to get more suggestions on different people out there with different stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't know this, but I'm gonna pop it on him now. Like, Spawns is gonna do one sometime in the near future on a plane of his choice.
Oh, Spawns.
Oh,
Wow.
throw me under the bus. Thanks.
Hey, by the way,
Oh, that
Dan,
would be fine. Yeah.
are you and Keegan available to do a podcast next weekend?
Next weekend, I will have to check the event calendar with the boss.
Yeah. Tell her to clear both your schedules.
Wait, are you
Okay.
seriously hijacking my video?
Totally.
I think he is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that, but just so that way I know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get the. I went ahead and scored the 50% cuts, peeling out the pieces, and Alex, MF30. Oh, Mesa. Mesa RC.
that would be a fun
cool.
one.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw MF and thought it might not be PG-13 for a sec.
God bless you, old mother. Yeah, actually, that's the kind of stuff we want to do here on the build nights. Is we want to be able to get those, stuff that may not always get put out there. Like, again, I'm gonna use them as an example, but Local Fiends got that EBY Catalina.
Yeah, and that thing is so cool.
Yep. I really want to get, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I do it every time. Kevin Matusik.
Matusik. Yep. The Raiden.
The Raiden.
Yep.
That plane is just so cool looking. I would love to be able to get him on here, and have him actually take us through, if he wants to take us through the entire design process. Did you guys see Mike? I thought it meant the MF-35 was the Mike 35 Thunder.
Mike, you are not 35. It's been a few years.
But get somebody on here like that. That's the whole point behind what we were doing with Build Nights. Is this is for you guys. This is you guys as the community. We want you to drive this thing. I know they say that you, Pat, you and Joel and Mike say the same thing about the community cast, and we're just an offshoot. So I really want you guys to drive it, the community, drive this bus, take us off the cliff, and hell, let's throw a rocket pod on and see if it flies. You know
Like
what I mean?
Thelma and Louise, baby.
Yeah. You know what? We should build something, a flying car, and call it the Thelma and Louise special.
Okay.
Be a bad idea. I know, bad joke. All right.
Okay.
So, right spar. Blue gun's nice and hot. Go ahead and get. Now this is an A fold. Actually, and I got to talk with Eddie. See, I get trying to talk and do this at the same time, and it doesn't always work like I want. I talked to Eddie, and I want to put it up on as a vote, but I'd like to get Tommy. He's got a real new trainer that he built that he says is just absolutely awesome. In case you guys don't know who we're talking about, that's Tommy Amour, so it's like Pat likes to call him by that.
Tommy Love.
Tommy Love. Get that. Get him. He's got a new trainer. So
He's the guy that won the first combat at Flight Fest 2014.
Yes, he was.
Yep. He'll bring that up anytime you ask him about it
Oh
too.
God.
But it was fantastic because I had been like giving him crap for weeks on the forum. I didn't know who he was. All I knew is that he named his plane something Murphy's Law. So I'm all about me. So
Right. So Patrick Murphy's Law.
right. So I was just giving him a hard time, talking trash and stuff, and then we built the trophy for it was me and Tom Grosky. I probably just butchered his name. That built the trophy on site there for the first combat. For the oh my God, there was an acronym. It was like the BWNWA. Yes, it was like 18 letters that Dan Cruz came up with. He won it, and I go up and present him the trophy, and he says, he's like, this is really cool. There was some dude on the forum that was just giving me such a hard time, and I was like, dude, that was me.
That's a great story.
You had to be there.
Yeah. No, actually, it's pretty good.
Oh, I thought that was a good story. I got to meet Tommy at Flight Fest 2015.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
And actually ended up, I built a Bloody Baron for Nerdnick and brought it out there for him. And Tommy came out and flew some combat with Nerdnick, myself, my brother, my nephew, and my son Keegan. And we just had a good old time. We had a blast flying streamer combat at Flight Fest last year.
Cool.
Actually, when I met Tommy last year for the first time, I looked at him. And if you guys don't know Tommy, he's works overseas, and he's got a big old bushy beard. Looks like ZZ Top meets the desert.
He looks like he walked out of the deepest, most remote mountain in Appalachia that you can imagine.
It was actually Thursday night, and we were getting all the chairs set up underneath of the build tent, since the company had just delivered them. And so we got all done with that, and we're all talking and stuff, and he walks over, and I looked at him and I went, wow, dirty hippie? and it was just one of those, like, speak without really engaging my brain first type moments. And he starts laughing. He goes, yeah, I get that a lot. And then all of a sudden, I said, like most of us do at Flight Fest, hey, I'm BG Fire Guy 92 on the forums. We know each other mostly by the forum tags, And he goes, oh, you're the guy that built that Cessna. And he just starts going on and on. Like 10 minutes in, I'm like, Baloo was standing right next to me, and I kind of looked at him. I says, I wonder what I tell him that wasn't me. And Baloo just kind of shook his head and laughed, and he goes, yeah, I don't know. And so we just kind of kept going for a little bit, and I kind of got done. He got done, and I said, yeah, it was a cool plane. I'd love to take credit for it, but I can't. And he goes, oh, that's cool, and he just turns around and walks away.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I think that was Timmy P that did the Cessna, right?
I think so.
Okay, so Ryan is asking if anyone else is having video issues, and Breezefish asked, any particular reason you're cutting that out now instead of before you glued the spar together?
You could have. I just like it so that way I can test fit it. If it's just so you guys know, I'm cutting out this section here to modify it for a 9 gram because the plans are for a 5 gram. I wait till I'm done, so that way it's up. I have found, the box form gives it the rigidity, and if you cut it out and then you're trying to test fit it, you can fold it, give it a little bit of wrinkle in there. So I personally, I have just found it's a little easier if you wait and do it after you actually build the spar, so that way you don't fold it up.
Very cool. Ted C. asked if any of us are going to Ceph.
No, I'd love to. I'd actually really love to get down there one year just to check
I would
it
too.
out.
Oh, Alex Houston says video stopped. Uh-oh.
Keegan's
guys,
watching the background.
I'm coming in for just a hot second, just to let you know. If you guys are experiencing video issues for any reason, likely it's coming from your own feeds. The way that the Hangouts works is it congregates all of our individual feeds into a central server outside of all of us videos. So some videos will come through crisp, some videos will come through a little staticky, some may freeze. It's all to do with your bandwidth. So video issues from this point forward is going to be based on where you are located. Video stream will continue until the end of the live broadcast.
Yep.
Thanks, Joel.
Maybe. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. Maybe take and just refresh your browser. Might be all it needs. So, and as you can see, those guys that aren't having video issues, I went to kind of test fit this, and it was just a little too narrow. If I had tried to do that here, if I had tried to do that while here, see, I mean, I barely push on it, and you see it's already creating a wrinkle in here. So, you know, this stuff has got some pretty good strength. You know, there are, like Pat is always saying, there are so many other build techniques out there other than some of the basic stuff, but the basic stuff's got some really good strength to it too, though. So.
Oh, it's cool stuff. There's no doubt about it. For $1 for a 20 by 30 sheet, come on.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing is people are just absolutely amazed that I some of these planes that I've built and all it is. I'm like, yeah, go to Dollar Tree and spend $2. You know, some of the other stuff is, you know, kind of expensive, you know, to get started with, like your transmitter and such. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in fact, you were talking your Bloody Wonder Mark III. You want me to show one of those, Dan? Since I've got
Sure, go ahead.
All right, hold on.
You can make me look good on camera. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this plane. It's such a. All right, Joel, big camera again. So, this is Fonz's Bloody Wonder Mark III. Actually, this is a night flyer. I'm not gonna try to actually. You know what? I think I have a battery somewhere locally handy.
Fly it in your garage.
Yes, absolutely. No, I got crazy with this at eFest. I actually threw a 2204 onto this. Why? Because I have no common sense. And I thought it would be fun. And it torque rolls like nobody's business.
What size prop you flying on that?
I went for a 6.4 and a half.
And it torque rolls on that?
Oh yeah.
Really?
We tried getting it to fly quite a few times and it just wouldn't. Now.
Really? That's weird, dude.
But yep, this is his Bloody Wonder Mark III. Coolest thing about it, Dan, and I really gotta say, is the curve of the fuselage, man, and those doublers.
Yeah, they definitely added a lot of strength. Make the combat planes last quite a bit longer.
Yep, I'm actually saving this one now. We get a lot of humidity here in the Midwest, but I've got a nice dehumidifier this year, so I'm actually not flying this, hopefully, to save it for FTCC this year. That's my plan, at least.
Ooh, we get to herd it this year.
Hey, I'm all right with that. Absolutely all right with that. All right, and before Joel starts jumping on me about building again.
Slave driver.
That he is. So, in case you guys missed it, I already created my modified servo wrist hole, so it actually fits a 9 gram now. So we'll go ahead and let me clear off some of this space. Now, I didn't, trying to get this a little bit more centered in the camera. I am going to cut out, right now, I'm going to cut out the hole, but I'm actually going to not take and cut it on this side, simply because the way they redesigned it, to have the control horn seat down further in that recess, which I think was one of the smartest things they've done in a while. You know, it's just a little bit better. So go ahead and, well, that's my really dirty blade. And again, you know, depending on what kind of blade you like using, I have just become mildly proficient with these big carpenter blades.
So you just hold the blade like a caveman then, huh?
I do.
No knife or nothing.
Me good.
Right between the teeth.
Yeah. But that'd be interesting. Go Buccaneer style.
Arr!
Thompson. I still take, and I like my number 11 though, especially like when you're cutting out the receptacles here for the camera pod or the center pod.
Yep.
Cut it on the long and narrow, and then what I do, and I'll just show you here, is actually I just go in, and I just use like almost like a little sawing motion.
Yeah, that works really well on those small cutouts.
Yeah, it seems to be the best that I have found. Sometimes you have to kind of come on the backside like I am now, cut a little paper just to make sure. But I have found it to be the best thing, and I am by no means the best. Hell, not even the best builder in this room, Mr. Spawns.
I know Pat is.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Ben's in the room by himself.
Right, I know.
I'm not sure what to make of that statement.
And it's not even a room; it's a garage. It's really.
I know, right?
They feed me and water me once a day.
We've got up to 18 watching now.
Wow.
Hey, y'all remember our young Ecuadorian friend, Color X?
The forum name sounds familiar. Yes.
Well, he's pretty much a legend. Hi, Andre. He's Andre from Ecuador. He's
Hello.
Is he the Ecuadorian version?
he's the most blonde-haired, blue-eyed Ecuadorian you'll ever meet. Makes you wonder about, he claims to be Swedish, but I still say his family migrated from Germany after the war.
Oh, don't go there.
Sorry, Andre.
PG-13.
Yep, Andre Elb, that's him.
All right, so we're getting our spar glued in. Not to be giving away any more secrets. I know Ryan brought it up when we were doing our little test broadcast a while ago. But, so, any of you guys ever use something along your edge for a combat plane?
Like a reinforcement or something?
Like reinforcement, not like a cutter or anything, but...
I haven't, because I mostly build mine to fly streamer combat, but I think for Flight Fest this year I'm going to be beefing up the leading edge a little bit to make something that, like you stated earlier, will be able to compete with Julian's Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say what I use.
Oh, you don't want to give away your secrets?
Nope. Because I'm going to slice you guys in half.
Oh.
He'll be on the ground in like 15 seconds. I'm not worried about Pat.
Well, you know what is going to happen, Dan, is he's going to get it up in the air, and it's going to go about 3 feet off the ground. It's going to torque roll anyway, so...
Tip stall. It's going to tip stall.
Okay. There is no such thing as a tip stall. It is just a plane with a bad stall characteristic. Get over it. Learn how to fly your airplane.
Hey, that takes a lot longer to say, plane with a bad stall characteristic, than tip stall.
Sounds fancy, though.
It does. But yeah, so anyway, so your tip stall, don't worry, we got you.
Well, actually, what I have is very CG sketchy, and
CG sketchy.
It's a handful, but once it gets going, man, it'll hurt something.
Probably mostly your ego.
Yeah, that is something.
Andre Elb is saying we're going to have a true hangout for everyone afterwards that watched. And that's something we can do. I mean, we did that.
We had talked about that, right?
Yeah, we did. Not just, for things. And please, let me say, the Google Hangouts is such a great thing. We're using Google Hangouts on air for this to be able to broadcast. with a flamethrower. All right, Alex, I like it. Sorry, distracted. It's like shiny keys for me. Um, the Google Hangouts is a great thing because you can jump on there and you don't have to do a video cast like we are with the build nights. Pat and uh, Pat and Eddie jumped onto Skype and did use Skype. Use whatever video service you want that's free. There's enough of them out there. Get on with your friends and build.
Yeah,
I think that's the greatest thing about this.
the reason that we don't have everyone having access to this right now because we have tried that before and it becomes such a free for all and it's unmanageable. Like there's very little progress being made by Ben right now because we're talking, but multiply that by infinity squared, and yeah, that's what it was like. So. Ryan, rocks follow a path of projectile motion that is not flying. Anyway, sorry. Andre, we're not trying to isolate anybody or anything, but it becomes really unmanageable when everyone can just throw in a comment anywhere like I'm doing right now.
Exactly. That was the vision behind what me and Eddie were doing with this was have a couple people come on, 2, 3 tops, and be able to have a commentary. And I'm having fun. I mean, yeah, I'm distracted, but I'm having fun. And it's,
Really? You don't even have half a wing built yet. Come on. You can't be distracted.
well,
Fold the damn thing over and put some hot glue on it.
Yes, sir. All right.
We'll keep talking. You keep building.
I'll be right back in a sec.
This went from plucky commentary to hostile takeover.
Excuse me, 720s. Never seen a rock tip stall, Pat. Just saying.
All right. And Pat walked out, so we can laugh at him because he's not here to defend himself.
Oh, excellent.
So.
Yeah, lots of squirrel moments, Alex.
Oh, yeah. Lots of squirrel moments. So, glue down the double bevel. We were talking about edge stuff. It's not really a secret because it's out there, but actually, carbon fiber rods. If you have a real big plane, carbon fiber rods or carbon fiber aero tubes work really, really well. So, my personal preference, again, this is my show and I'm building my plane and I'll cry if I want to. Glue in the double bevel, glue on the spars. Fold that over. I don't do the trailing edge right now. I know some people do, and they like to, and get it all in one shot, and that's cool for them. And hey, what works for you works for you, but I don't care for it.
On the small planes, it's not too bad to try and get all of that, but I typically kind of leave the trail edge for last too.
Mm-hmm. And especially when you got something like this, where that last score line, you're able to lift it up. It's just real easy access.
Right.
It just, to me, it makes more sense to go like this and do it this way, you know? So, squirrel. Thanks, Alex. So, wait, what does Bixler always say? 30 seconds or so? And, yeah, it's done. So, okay. Trailing edge. Again, like I said, I go last on that, but that's my personal preference. Not everybody does it my way, but my way is better than everybody's. Right, Dan?
If you say so.
I did it my way.
What was that?
That's Pat coming back with his sultry. Hey!
Hey, Asbjorn!
Asbjorn! The Viking.
Hey, As.
Oh, trust me, Alex. And I only because I'm holding this down, I can read at the same time. I am multi-talented, if you can believe it or not. Sometimes, not really. Pat is a hoot.
Yeah, wait till he starts drinking his moonshine. He'll
Oh,
be
God.
keeping you entertained for countless hours.
Yes. So for those of you that are watching, but that are under 21, I'm sorry to say that. Well, it sucks to be under 21. I remember. But
You've never been under 21?
actually, So I've been getting into bars since I was about 16. You can't see it too on the picture. I'm 6'5", about
What?
305 pounds, and I've been this about this same size most of my adult life. And yeah, I've been getting into bars since I was 16.
Not that we're encouraging that kind of
Okay,
behavior from our
so
under 21 audience.
so let's just throw it out here. Ben lives in Chicago or thereabouts, and Dan is in Wisconsin. And when I drove through Wisconsin on my way to Oshkosh, uh, I remember driving through Milwaukee, and every single block had two little bars on it. Every single block.
A church and 2 bars, probably.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably. Hey Joel, highlight that one for Izumi. It's actually a pretty good point.
Hello, Gary.
Depron lightweight rigid. Oh yeah, that'd work.
Okay.
Um,
Personal choice, but hollow stuff works better on the spar rather than leading edge due to chance of shattering carbon fiber on impact. Not that you can't break spars too.
yep.
Not quite sure what that means.
I think he's talking about putting it up near your spar, something like this design, putting your, we were talking about reinforcing the
Leading edge.
the leading edge. I think that's what he's talking about, Dan.
Okay.
Is doing it versus putting it on right on the leading edge itself. Put it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for strength in the wing to keep it from folding, but I think what we were talking about earlier is putting something into the leading edge to give it some more impact resistance and penetration ability for destroying other planes in combat.
I recommend everybody put a 1-inch diameter lead rod in their leading edges.
You know,
I can find a motor big enough to fly my plane with a 1-inch lead rod in it, so no worries.
I think I have one in my lawnmower that'll work.
That it can be done. It's anybody here follow Top Gear, the original Top Gear on BBC with Jeremy Clarkson and them?
Not really.
Keegan does, I don't.
I'm piping in here for a second because you're talking about Top Gear. It is the only Top Gear that exists.
Yes.
Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay, I'm out again.
Aren't you American now,
Version
Joel?
wasn't bad.
Pip pip cheerio.
In case y'all couldn't tell, Joel is British, so he takes any slight bit of offense that when we say anything is better than Britain. So,
Like America.
like America.
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 Sorry, buddy.
That's fine. Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson, he always did it, and I thought it was the funniest thing was it's the application of power. So, anything with enough power will fly. I don't care who you are.
So, Andre Elb said, I'm trying to contact a disposable foam plate factory to see if I can buy a flat foam stock. I think it's like Depron, lightweight and rigid. Yeah, and actually, Peter Schriepel started his illustrious career by building stuff out of foam plates.
Yeah, I've used dollar store foam plates in my classroom before to have kids build gliders, and it really is exceptional material for what it is. And if you could get a sheet of it, that would be really nice. I think it's better. It's lighter than Dollar Tree foam board without the paper on it. It's brittle, but I think that is something you could deal with, and it really is a nice foam.
The only thing I'm worried about with something like that is, it's so thin, is the warping. You know what I mean? Because something that thin is going to want to tend to warp. It may not want to break as much, but it's going to warp like nobody's business,
Yeah.
I would personally like to see flight test, after this water-resistant foam comes out, get into or possibly look at developing some kind of Depron-like building materials for folks here in the U.S. who have a hard time getting a hold of Depron for more balsa-type build-up with foam.
Oh,
Well-
absolutely.
Yeah, but you can do the same thing with Dollar Tree foam board just fine.
Right, but we only have the one thickness, is what I'm saying. So if you can get
Oh, I
some
got
thinner stuff for sheeting and creating more of a rounded fuselage or more of a true airfoil on your wings with sheeting like you would with balsa techniques, I think that would be pretty incredible.
Ben,
Yes.
it's easy to do with Dollar Tree foam board.
You can't. Man, he
Or
just built.
Dan, sorry, whoever said that. Yeah,
I'll take the hit.
okay,
Um,
Dan.
That was me, yeah.
It's very easy to do with Dollar Tree foam board.
Well, I've done it. I'm just saying you could use thinner foam than Dollar Tree foam board for doing sheeting type work.
Okay. You
Yeah,
can
I mean,
roll it out too.
it's all on what you're looking to do with it. You gotta find the right application of material for what you are doing.
Well, I think one of the things that is an issue is that a lot of people don't realize what you can do with Dollar Tree foam board if you look at it from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can, if you spend a little bit of time working it, you can roll a sheet of Dollar Tree foam board up into a tight spiral once you get the crap paper off of it.
The uh, the guys that I'm pretty sure I got the name right because he's been putting his stuff on Flight Test Fans on the Facebook side is Jared Hughes. He just built a B-17 using balsa style techniques with formers and everything.
Yep.
Um, Built that, and that thing came out really, really nice. Uh, and actually, you know what? I experimented, same arrow wing, just out of curiosity, where I actually took the whole entire inside. Here, let me grab the other side. But I took the whole entire inside. I didn't put a single score line in, nothing. Well, while my camera decides whether it's going to focus or not. My apologies, guys.
Amateurish.
Well, it's because it's the whitewash. Whitewash is killing it.
I know. I'm messing with you, bro.
Ah, God, quite nice. I didn't put any score lines, and I peeled the paper
Yeah.
and went for more like Ed over
A
experimental.
smoother airfoil, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do that pretty frequently with all my combat planes, the Mark III, the Ugly Wonder, and the Bloody Baron. I typically just take the paper off the inside and let it form over naturally, which gives it a much smoother airfoil.
And you know what? That's one of those things. Like, I'd love to have Bixler on and just ask him. When you guys were designing this, I understand the score lines and folding it, especially for somebody that's new to this hobby. But what benefits do you get by going with the score line? Because then to me, you're almost changing it like a KF step, not a true step. You know what I mean?
And I actually was having a conversation with Blake Ziegler earlier today about that very thing because he has scaled an arrow up to 127%, so it's about the same size as a Versa. But at that scale, it has a pretty noticeable down pitch. And looking at what he built, I can only attribute it to the flat upper leading edge where you've got it's like a Clark Y, but it's got three angles on it, if you know what I'm saying. The Clark Y airfoil is completely flat on the bottom, but instead of having a rounded leading edge, you have a leading edge that literally from the bottom comes back at a 45-degree angle and then a couple of different angles to form the curve of the leading edge that eventually goes down and meets the trailing edge. So that is like a huge flat plate area that's just pushing the nose of the wing down.
Yeah.
And there's no reason you have to do it like that. There's no reason but I can only conjecture that the flat airfoil in terms of the angular airfoil is just for ease of communicating the build to people.
Yeah, and it makes sense, especially okay, so take the Sparrow that they just came out with as an instance, where Bixler actually didn't use with that kid, I can't remember his name, I feel bad, um, but didn't use a single sharp edge tool, you know what I mean? And took the score lines, well, we would normally do a 50% cut, and then just like I did here, and then use a barbecue skewer or something to crush it down a little bit. Um, Actually taking and using a marker. I mean, no different than a regular permanent marker. Um, it's fine for educational purposes. I just think that we not only there's one way, but it's not always the best way. It's what works. Find something that works and something that's different for everybody.
Yeah.
My personal philosophy.
Yeah, and I think people need to not be so afraid to deviate from the plans, so to speak.
Right. What's it going to cost you, $1 or $2 for somewhere?
Exactly.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Well,
And I think that's Flight Test's kind of whole philosophy on a lot of this as well, is to get people to be able to build with cheap materials, but then also kind of experiment and try their own thing as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you look at it. I hope you guys pulled up the tested article where the guy actually built a mini arrow, and I think he used like a Power Pack F. Something that he did in that I'm actually going to try with this one later is he took and I think he said he went up 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches right here, cut it down along this leading edge so that way it stayed the same.
Oh yeah, and blended the back in.
Yeah, it dropped it so that you didn't have this
The cavity in the back.
And he said it was a noise reduction, which translates to power loss anyway.
That makes sense.
And it looks smoother. And one thing that I liked about it is, and I don't have I got a power pod over there. I'm not going to worry about it. Is once you get the center section built, right? If you want to put a barbecue skewer through your power pod, your mini power pod, you've got to go right up against this edge. In order, because if not, you're only getting into the top plate of that foam of that center pod. Where by doing this, you have all that access, you know what I mean, to be able to throw a skewer in there, so I know it's not going to move. You know what I mean? 115, and we don't even have yet. Hey, Alex, we do have one wing done. Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants. All right. My camera keeps focusing because of the whitewash. But
All right, Ben, get to building.
right. So, hey, but I like this. This is why I wanted to have a panel commentary to be able to talk about different stuff. I'll get that out of there so I refocus.
Right. This isn't necessarily just a build thing. This is a hang out and shoot the crap thing.
Exactly.
Right, I know. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I know.
Asborn said he can send Depron. We just need to send loads of Dollar Tree foam board back his way if we do. Sure thing, Asborn.
Works. All right, so glue the trailing edge, cut the bevel edge on the Elevon, reinforce it with glue. Can't say I do that every single time now because it just works better. As you notice, I cut out the original 5-gram slot. So what I have to do, and forgive me for leaning in here, to make sure, because when you modify this, you're not modifying so much the longitude.
Hey, Josh Bixler has joined the video.
Oh,
So I'd like to pause the chat for a moment for a very special guest.
Go ahead,
Oh, wait a minute.
Mr. Bixler. Maybe, possibly.
I hear Jen. Is that Jen in the background? Hi, Jen.
It could be.
Hey,
Hey, there he is.
man, I'm sorry, guys. I can fly a plane, but I can't work a computer.
I can relate, bro.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Mr.
Josh.
Bixler, how are you doing this evening?
Dan, hi.
Hey,
Hey, Ben. Let's see. I see Dan. I see Ben. Let's see. Who else is here? Joel, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yep.
Joel
I'm here, but I'm in the background, so
The
I'm
legend himself,
staying muted.
Patrick Murphy.
Yeah, one Patrick
Hey,
Murphy.
Patrick.
We don't let him talk. We don't let Joel talk, Josh.
No.
Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know the etiquette of this here. Explain how this works.
All we're doing is it's
We don't know the etiquette here
Yeah.
either. We're figuring out as we go.
Wait. Was there a manual that I forgot to download somewhere? Because I have no clue.
Josh, we have no etiquette.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? You guys are fulfilling a dream, though, because I know we've talked a lot of different times. My heart's desire is to see people building together as groups. You guys are doing it in the cyber world, which is pretty darn awesome. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it, sir. And that's what I know I had reached out to you to come in and say a few words and hopefully somewhat get an official blessing. But if not, well, we're going to do it anyway because we're having fun. As someone already pointed out, we're an hour and 15 minutes in, and I only have half of a mini arrow built.
You see, when this whole thing was conceived, Eddie Black and I did this very same thing together over a chat, and it was just he and I, and
Yeah.
we were really productive. But now, with people and talking, the productivity is not there, but the fun is
Oh, it's there.
very good.
Well, there's a reality, with this hobby. It's you get together, and sometimes you fly. And in this case, you get together, and sometimes you build. Really, it's the social element, the bonding, the friendships that are the most special thing. Not the silly foam airplanes. We build those and crash those all the time. But what you guys are doing is going to last a lot longer than what you're putting together today.
Oh, absolutely, sir. And that was the concept. I mean, Pat and Eddie started this. I kind of pushed and shoved my way in here and said, well, I've got an idea, and we ran with it. And the whole concept behind it is to be able to build with somebody that's in California, in Ohio, in Pennsylvania.
Norway.
Norway, yes. Got to get
Yes.
Asborn because he's out there watching. And be able to do that and where it doesn't limit you geographically. It allows you to still build those relationships and have fun and build planes, but you don't have to be down the street from somebody.
Yeah, Beezerfish just posted a really good comment here. The build is secondary. The tips are way more important.
Well,
So
thank you, Beezer.
thanks for that, Beezer.
Well, now I need to cut out a kit or something, huh? Well, I've been working on the Sea Duck right
Hang on.
now. So
Yes, very excited about that.
Hey,
Yeah, I
Joel.
just posted on the forums and posted a couple of links to the Facebook Live stuff that you guys shot yesterday for that in case people weren't on Facebook to see that. And yeah, that's a pretty amazing looking plane. I think a lot of people are really excited to see that.
it,
I'm excited for the water resistant foam board. Very excited.
you know what? I got it. I don't know if people can see my camera or not, but I got it right here. Am I visible or no?
Yeah.
I can see you.
You are
Hopefully
officially
Joel
live.
has got
So,
you.
It's a really good thing I have my clothes on then, huh?
yeah, that's all good. I'm bouncing between everybody's feeds. So if Josh, if you want to show something in particular, I can bounce between you and Ben. So I'm kind of watching what everybody's saying, and I'm bouncing back and forth as best as I can. But you guys
You're
keep
doing
rocking.
an
I'm
amazing
gonna keep
job,
going.
Joel. No worries.
Awesome. Well, here's the bad thing is I talk and I never shut up, and I don't want to hijack this awesome thing. And Ben, you talked about blessing. What kind of person would I not be to encourage it and champion you guys? So thank you, and you definitely got our blessing. I want to see this become a normal thing, and if we have to someday write software for it, so be it. I want to see this more and more common. I also physically want people together. I want people finding out where they are in towns and eating pizza together as well too. But yeah, God bless you guys.
Well, thanks, buddy.
And that FT Groups is really, I mean, when you guys premiered that, I know it had been in the works for a long time, so that's definitely going to allow it. I mean,
Yeah.
the flight test forums I've got a few buddies in the Chicagoland area that we got to meet up with and, and fly together and everything else, but that was through it, where the FT Groups is going to more cater to specifically that. So, I mean, it's a great concept, and everybody's, I think, is really starting to take off.
And people are real patient about that. My heart with the FT groups was just to recreate what we did, where we found people that were close by, and we all got together and built together. But flight tests, 400,000 people, it's hard to know whether you have someone, down the road or, 10 miles away, but the ability to connect them. And right now, people are being so gracious because it's rough. It's really, really a rough setup. But by the end of it, I want people to be able to communicate, network, and then literally be like, hey, we're flying. The field's dry outside. We're flying tonight. Instantly, all the people from that group know. And then also turn around and give back and say, hey, we're going to have a build night, and blast it out, say, to a 50-mile radius, and say, let's all meet at this place at this time and do it. And people outside that group can then become engaged. And that way they can really organically and strategically give back and help people either get in the hobby, learn about it, give back to the community, whatever they want to do. They become a force that can network within their own abilities and passions.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big believer in paying for it. Me and you have talked about that before, Josh.
Yeah.
So I look at it. I'll use him. I don't know if he's out there watching tonight. My buddy Tim Phillips lives up in the city, moved out here from San Diego. Just happened to throw up on the forums. Was like, hey, why don't we come out? And Josh froze in a mean face there for a second. But put it in a forum, so we got together, and he was like, I'm really new to this, and he had a really bad Hobby King knockoff radio, and had one plane to fly, and I'm like, you know what? Here you go. I gave him a FT flyer with a Blue Wander, and I said, here you go, man, take it. He's like, no, I can't. I said, seriously, it's paying it forward. I had somebody like, Pat and Dan Cruz, Fred, and them guys on the forums where I pestered the crap out of them because I didn't know about this. Andre, that guy, poor guy, me and him talked the other night. I said, I have to apologize because I felt like I pestered you so much. But that's how I learned. And to be able to pay that forward and to give is one of the core principles that I'm trying to bring to this. And I think Eddie, I know Eddie's at a 13-year-old's birthday party right now.
I'm not sure if the 13-year-old wants him there or not, but I think he's looking in through the window or something. But
well, it's probably because he heard there's a bounce house around. So.
Oh, pooper scooper. Okay, hold on. I gotta get my charging cord. I'll be right back.
Josh just said pooper scooper on the live.
PG-13.
Yeah.
Guys,
I think that's clean enough.
Soundbite for the podcast. I'm totally keeping it.
Pooper scooper.
Because I was watching some of these questions come up. Josh, you said made your arrow this afternoon. It flew great. Have a second one built. Waiting for gear. Yeah, dude, this plane, it takes a lot for it not to get up in the air. You really got to mess up something. It's so easy. Exumi, I think Dan can speak to the waterproof board more than I can, but it didn't seem like it was that much more on weight.
It's actually very comparable weight-wise. So Josh was awesome enough to send me a box, and I spent a good amount of time yesterday weighing all 50 pieces. Very consistent across the board weight-wise. Almost exactly the same as the Dollar Tree foam board that you buy at the Dollar Tree store. Mm-hmm. Josh is saying it's lighter than the flight test foam that they actually get, which is the same stuff they get from Adams that goes to Dollar Tree, except they hold it to a little bit higher standard. So maybe the flight test foam is a little bit heavier, because he's saying that the waterproof foam board is lighter. But I found that it's pretty much almost the same weight as the stuff that you buy at Dollar Tree.
Very cool.
So I'm back.
Hey,
Josh.
Hey, and just so you know, we're hijacking your voice, and I'm gonna make a ringtone that says, "I've got to go get a pooper scooper." I'll be right back.
Pooper scooper.
Yeah. Pooper scooper.
You're
I
now
got
a soundbite.
about the language there, man. I'm sorry.
That was
No,
perfect.
you know what? You're doing better than we are. We keep having to remind each other this is PG-13, so.
It's hard, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you get hot glue on your finger and you just got to say fudge. So
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yep.
yeah.
Fudge.
yes.
Hey, weight on the waterproof. I came back in the conversation is it's 3 ounces per sheet. So I don't know what locally your foam board is, but it's 3.8.
Well, Dan was just telling us that he spent a good bit of yesterday weighing every single sheet in the box that you sent him, and it's very comparable.
Is it
Wait.
cool?
Yeah.
So we got
Well, to this, I don't have any like flight test foam, the white stuff. The stuff that I compared it to was the stuff that I buy at the Dollar Tree store. And it's roughly about the same weight as the stuff from the Dollar Tree store, so I was assuming that the white flight test foam is probably a little bit higher quality and maybe.
all we did is we gave them pictures and specifications. Like, you see this warp, you see these waves, we don't want that. You see this size differentiation, we don't want that, and we just held them to it. And also, when you get dollar store foam, that stuff could have been sitting for a year before it actually got. Where the stuff that we had with our kits and stuff, that's going through where it's fresh out of the oven batch. So usually it's straighter, nicer. The gentleman was saying the longer it sits, the rougher it gets. I don't know if you have the camera on here. When I was doing Facebook chat with videos, did anyone see me do weird bad things to the waterproof?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
where
saw
you were
that.
trying to basically see if you could soak it and turn it into mush.
Yeah. It's the nice thing about it is even when water is on the exposed edges, it doesn't cause it to peel up. You'd have to have this stuff submersed. We did it overnight, and we came back, and it was still intact. Now, when you have rain, if Peter let it sit out for about 3.5 hours out in a rainstorm, and the plane didn't warp or anything, but what it did do is it kind of sagged between the cavities, so it didn't droop. It just, I guess you could say, concaved a little bit. But that was the guinea pig, and I think we showed that on the video. You could see that plane was a little rough, but definitely not showing the wear of 3 hours and pouring down rain.
Oh yeah. And I imagine that if you do a technique that a lot of us do anyway, where you glue, put a hot glue on your leading edges or your trailing edges or whatever, that'll pretty much take care of whatever little bit of problems that it might have with the soaking and the lamination coming up from the paper.
Oh, 100% right. And a little bit of work will take it from a disposable plane to a plane that's going to last you for years and years. You can use a very aggressive paint on it, and that aggressive paint will bite into it actually better. We used to use Valspar because Valspar didn't have an aggressive bite. Now we're actually going to be encouraging people to go the opposite. I can put full-blown solvent automotive enamel on this stuff, or something that really bites. I'm sorry, base coat, clear coat. High grip, high bite, and it doesn't do a thing. I'm looking around to see if I have spray paint right now.
That's what I really like about the new waterproof.
Josh
foam,
is
the
an
ability
auto
to
body
be able
guy.
to paint without having to pre-treat it with anything else, or you can just grab a rattle can and throw some paint on there, because I think that's going to add even more to the longevity of these planes.
Yeah, it really changes the game in terms of what these planes are made of. Simply the ability to paint these planes without having to worry about prepping a surface or protecting a surface is huge in my mind.
Yeah, it's huge.
Absolutely.
And what it is it looks waxy, but it's actually a poly coating. If you guys have ever had instant oatmeal, where you have to fill up the pouch with water and pour it in, that thickness, that super fine thin paper, is kind of virtually what this is, except it has a plastic impregnated film into the paper. So it's not something laid over top; it's actually infused. So you're gonna look at it and it's gonna be like, this is wax. It's never gonna stick. It sticks. And I'm plugged in my hot glue gun here. I'm gonna glue some stuff. I haven't done this even yet for the video. I'm gonna glue some stuff to the videos just to show you some fun things. But that being said, don't let me derail anything with this.
That's fine. I will, because I know there are people out there like Alex Houston, if you're still there, and harassing me about only having half a wing built. I don't care. It's my show. I'll do what I want.
Hey,
Ben, you are the coolest
guy.
ever.
Ben, please continue building.
Yeah. And
That's
what I was waiting for, was the director behind the scenes.
Which Joel is cracking the whip.
He is, man. He is. He's doing great on running this. He walked away.
Hey, Julian, John Rusher. Julian Waters, isn't he the guy that designed the Valkyrie?
He is the Valkyrie man. Yes, he is.
Ah, very cool.
We were talking about you earlier. I don't know if you were on when we were talking about you, but
You know what?
a lot of people are out to get your Valkyrie at Flight Fest next year.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I-
slice it in
forward to
half.
for the
Yeah.
combat next year.
he's
This
turning
year.
into
You see how many?
weird like Fred. He popped in as soon as we started saying something negative.
Oh,
Who did? Fred? Are you saying Fred's here?
No. I said Julian was pulling a Fred.
Oh,
You know how Fred will pop in just as somebody says something about him, and you're like, Jesus, you know.
You say Fred's name 3 times. He pops
Yeah,
up.
he magically appears.
Oh man.
Hey, Josh.
Yes, sir.
We need to abduct Fred for Flight Fest this year.
Yes.
Poor guy. I know it's killing him inside. So he's happily employed though. We don't want to hurt that, because if anyone knows Fred knows that poor guy lives a pretty stressful life with his older work environment. So we gotta encourage him and celebrate the fact that he actually has a job he loves now.
Oh yeah. Well, and he's always texting me. Most people out there know I'm a firefighter paramedic, and he'll send me stuff of, well, I did this brush fire, and then I'll send him a car fire, and then he sends me, well, this rattlesnake would come near me, and it's a one-up game at that point with him.
Hey, you guys, I was gonna tell you this too while you work on your wing and look in the arrow. I have a arrow built out of the water-resistant foam board that is fully fiberglass with neck cloth now. And it
Wow.
takes fiberglass at the camp. So we're going to do an episode with that on showing people how to glass things. That way, if you want to build something crazy like Peter's huge, monstrous guinea pig, you can glass it and paint it and give it the full high-end treatment on it. It comes out looking just as good. But the water-resistant foam really does a good job. That servo looks fantastic, Ben.
You know what? We were talking about this. I don't care for the 5 grams. I'm cheap.
Signing off. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Perfect.
You know what? No, it is somehow. Josh has got a button he pushes somewhere, and all of a sudden everything in my house goes off.
Carry on.
I haven't had any real success and it's just my personal thing. And I like doing a lot of really high speed, stupid stuff with mine. So I like having the 9 gram.
You know what? I don't blame you. The 5 grams are really good. We were trying to get something that you wouldn't have to register, and beat that dreaded 0.55 pound mark. So that's why we really leaned on that. And I'm yet to actually have one fail. I've forcelled it, and I'm probably sure I've been at least 100 miles an hour with one of them. And they're doing good, but at the same time, I'm not abusing the servos and giving full back deflection, while doing top speed. So I think you're probably the wiser to go with what you're doing with the 9 grams.
Yeah, and it like I said, it works for me. And like we have said constantly through this, is my way is not the best way, but it's my show, so it's my way.
Yeah. I do like the Emax servos that you guys are using. I've used those on a few builds already, but I went cheap and bought some Hextronic HXT 500s, and I have probably had a third of those be bad right out of the bag. So I am done. I'm done with the.
No, that is totally rolling the dice. That's I've had some bad experiences. Yeah.
The 900s I've had a lot of success with, but the 500s are horrible.
100% agree.
900s are bulletproof. Yeah, the 500 or 5 grams are pretty rough. Emax. It's funny. Whenever I talk to them, they take the most pride in the pots in their servos. They'll rat off a technical number and say 5 different times in 5 different accents that it's they make their own pots, their own sensors, not knockoffs. But very, very smooth for even a small servo. But the thing I don't like about the 5 grams is those tiny little fragile control or servo arms.
Yeah.
They could have been a little bit beefier with those servo arms. So I'm heating up my glue gun right now. I'm going to glue some servos onto this foam.
I'm going to kind of keep trucking along here.
Build, Ben. Build.
Yeah, Dan,
It's called Build Nights. Come on.
Don't make Joel angry.
Building.
We're going to have to change it to build early in the morning.
You see that there?
So anyway, Joel, give me the overhead. I'll kind of show everybody what I did here. Is as you can see, I pocketed out the original 5 gram slot, and all you have to do is just kind of I use that little Fiskars one with an 11 blade and cut out around it, and you know, being that you already cut out the spar earlier and it fits in, it's still down lower. It's not as low as a 5 gram is going to be, obviously, because it's got a little bit taller pots and everything, but it's still recessed a lot more, and it works really, really well. So I have found success, especially when I took it down to E-Fest. I put a heavier gauge wire in there and had to drill out the control horn a little bit, but other than that, it works fine, and I never once had a problem with a push rod bending, which is I can't stand, and I hate that. So, what else? That's pretty much it for 1 week now. We all know. And there's my tool. So got that side edge.
You cable as your friend there, Ben?
Whoa, that's a
Did you use it as your friend?
Extreme close-up.
yeah. So
Josh, where's your magnifying glass? Make your eye really, really big.
Just trying to see what Ben's doing here.
Yeah, it's I can zoom in if I have to, but
No.
I just doing the whole side edge here, and cutting it out and getting it flush with your one. Hey, so we were actually just talking about it, Josh, and since I actually got you on, we were talking about different design techniques. So with this, we understand the ease of use for teaching somebody with going with the score lines and the fold. Have you ever considered going to more like completely removing the inside foam and then
Paper.
making it more smoother?
Paper.
Yeah, more like a arm and loop, right? The smooth transition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Molding. The larger immersion wing is what we usually used to call what's now the Arrow. The Arrow was originally going to be a big boy. It was going to be a 40-incher meant to replace like the blunt nose, and that was what we drew up with Anthony when we were in Europe. The reason I moved away with the smaller one was just something I figured it would be borderline disposable. But what the bigger one actually has is some formers that would drop down vertically inside there to keep the strength up and give it a very, very smooth transition. So what you're asking for, and the reason why we totally just killed the bigger one that was built real quickly, I think we teased it a little bit in the Aero video, was because we want to go with a full-blown, I want to say a timely build. We don't want it just to be a disposable thing. We want this to be something that you're going to see racing. So that means it's going to be something that takes longer. It'll be a 4-hour build, and we'll do a 1-hour build video on it, but people are going to have to really dedicate some time. It'll have some internal structure. It'll give it strength and a really nice, beautiful, smooth wing. So yeah, how's that? The other thing too is it'll be this stuff here. This stuff is a lot stronger than the white foam. The film on it is even stronger too, and it molds like nothing else. So we'll go ahead and play with that. But it's actually going to have some ribs in it, some former ribs, so when you grab it, you're not bending it.
Gotcha.
So Josh, you're saying that the water resistant stuff it's a different foam formula inside as well as a different covering?
I think it's honestly the exact same foam. What it is the paper is much stronger, and it's much more pressure resistant. So where the other stuff, if you peeled it, you kind of get that where it can crinkle real easy.
Yep.
This will actually will hold up very, very nicely. Boy, it's so hard to describe or even show you, but let me see here. Let me see if this is the right way. I'm going to try to do this here. First, I'm going to cut this off.
While you're doing that, Josh, I'm going to answer a few questions that are popping up. Ben, you had asked about a battery. I have found with my Bloody Arrow, good Lord.
Wow.
Ben just designed a new plane.
Yeah, I'm good for something. The Mini Arrow, I like going with a 3S 850. Seems to give it the better balance, and especially if you go from an 1806 to a 2204, it doesn't really doesn't really matter to the plane as much because you've already got that good nose weight. Especially if you're going to go FPV, it gives you that nose weight in there a little bit better. So, Josh, the guy asked if he's going to be able to get the waterproof stuff and the stores. And Benjamin Williams, I swear, you come over here and try to whip me yourself.
Don't do it. Don't do it, guy. He's tough.
You impertinent little snot-nosed kid.
Yeah, B2.
How many people are we fellowshipping with today? How many people are on this chat?
Last I heard, it was about 20 or 22, which...
Yeah, the number was showing up before. I don't see it now, though.
Hey guys, we are currently at 23 views. And as
Nice.
live listeners who are following along, we're having it pumped back out into the Facebook feed so that more people can come join us. But hang on, Josh, I'm going to put your camera on for a second. There you go. You're up.
Oh, okay. Here, don't let me interrupt you here. I was telling you about the molding abilities with this stuff. We're going to be able to actually do full-blown warbirds like the Corsair with a molded cowl that's done long. It'll...
Nice.
Can you see that?
Do you have paper on one side of that stuff, Josh?
Yep, one side is ripped off.
Okay.
It removes clean, real clean, and simple. Just like the other stuff, but you got to deliberately take it off. Here's the servo I was going to tell you about. Normally, when you do this and start pulling, it would pull the paper. Right off of it.
Yep.
And then I'm going to pull this here. I'm not doing it. Very good. This is the adhesion that you get right there.
Wow.
So normally it'll just fleck off the paper, and it actually sticks so hard to the glue. Let's see if I can do this right. I'm gonna pull this. You'll see it actually the glue is releasing from the servo beforehand. Kind of hard to display this, but the bond. A lot of our designs we say glue it internally and stuff, and then you go back a week later and you find that they're knocked off because the cottony paper just isn't holding very good. You're not going to have that issue with it.
That's pretty awesome. I actually lost a Versa wing last year because the servo let loose on the inside of the wing.
I hate doing that to people. I feel so bad. I feel like I need to give them all new kits when I hear about servos letting go, because that's why I don't know if you saw in the Explorer, I had that keeper in that boom. It was because I crashed the Explorer that we had at Flight Fest because of servo let go. And it's just such a pointless way to lose a plane.
Well, Josh, look at take a moment and think about what you're offering to people and at what cost for a kit for an airplane that can fly versus what was available 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 30 years ago.
That.
So the accessibility, what you guys have done is made this hobby accessible for pretty much anyone, and that's an amazing thing to me. And that's one of the reasons why flight test in this community is so important to me, is because now this is accessible to anyone, period.
Amen, Pat. I mean,
Absolutely.
flight test is the reason I got into the hobby in the first place.
It warms my heart, guys. You take it to a whole nother level, though. And, cheap foam airplanes can't build a community like we're experiencing here. It takes people like yourselves. And this is going to turn into a big hug fest, but if the people didn't have the heart to take the tools and then go out and build relationships with it and move the hobby forward, it wouldn't matter if it was free. You guys are taking the stuff and really making it special. And it's frankly a dream come true for me. Not to only be involved with it, but to see the movement that's being created. It's flight test isn't a community as much as now it's a family with a vision, and I think that's a real powerful thing that people need to learn, because I don't think it's ever really existed in the hobby realm like it does today.
Absolutely, it hasn't. And I see Mr. Finley has popped on here. What's up, Mike?
Hi, guys.
Sorry, Mike, I was trying to get it. We got going to discuss, and I was trying to pass your message along to Josh. And
yeah, no, I understand.
and you know
come
what,
in
Josh?
because I wanted to say to Josh. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Mike, go ahead. I'll shut up. Trust me, I've been talking all night.
Well, I mean,
Oh, and
Bug, Pat, and Joel to actually start the whole, community cast thing to begin with. And after that happened, of course, all this build night and everything come up. But this is exactly what I wanted to do to give back to you guys. And I'm talking about you specifically, Josh, Alex, Chad, everybody, because you guys have given so much to me. I'm telling you, I got friends here that I would have never had without Flight Test.
absolutely.
Means the world, man.
And that means so much to me, and I want you to know how much it means to me as well, and how much you guys mean to us, and how much this community means to me. And I just want to say thank you, because you have blessed us more than we could ever bless you back.
Oh, absolutely.
Amen,
No,
brother.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that kind words, man. That means a lot, and it's going to be a imagine this is just really going into our 5th year, and I really think it's about the 3rd year of really this movement part of Flight Test. Imagine how it's going to be in 10 years, because this isn't something that'll fizzle out or something that needs to be fed or it starves. It's the movement, and you guys are championing that movement. I just can't wait for when my kids are adults. You know what I mean? To see the kind of world they're going to walk into in this industry, but also what this industry can do for people. It's changing a lot of lives, and you guys are really driving that home.
Well, and it's not just the drive at home or to the lives being changed through just a couple guys getting out there and flying some planes and crashing, and I mean we all know that's an integral part of what we do and what you want, but it's the other stuff, Mike calling me because he knows I work, a crap ton of hours, and Pat and Eddie, them guys know how many hours I work. In fact, when I got off this morning, in 2 weeks between 2 jobs, I put 176 hours in.
Oh man.
So you know what I mean, and these guys know. So Mike is awesome and about calling me or texting me and, hey, you doing okay? What's going on? It just bugs the hell out of me until I answer them, and then we get on the phone, and I think Mike, we were on the phone last night for over an hour. Just
Easily.
Awesome.
So it's affecting people more than that. You know what I mean? And to kind of capitalize on what Pat said earlier, it's the effectiveness of what you guys did with the planes. I mean, I wish I could show my garage right now where I'm sitting. I think I have bought planes, like planes I've actually bought elsewhere, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 planes that I've bought. That's it. The rest of my stuff is F-22s, Arrows, Sparrows, a couple other top secret stuff, Bloody Wonders, Mini Sportsters, Versas. You know what I mean? You made it so accessible to people like me that don't have a whole lot of money to be able to just go out there and have fun. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest things, especially when I show people this stuff, is, hey, this is Dollar Tree foam board. When I go to work, I take 2 or 3 planes because
That's cool.
I'm gone for 24 hours, and I'll get my coworkers that are really interested. I'll be like, here. Oh, I don't want to crash it, dude. I got a couple hours of building in, and I do it when I'm at work getting paid anyway, so I don't care.
Love it. I got a dear friend that's a fireman paramedic as well, and he won't let me give him a kit to try out. He always is like, no, I'm scratch building. Give me the plans because I have time. I don't want to do it too quickly. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome, guys.
I'm very blessed in my job where I'm able to sit there in between calls, and it's pretty much all I do is build. I scratch build, and I'm very blessed in that. In fact, it used to be where I'd get calls from supervisors going, what is all that crap over your table when the other crew came out to cover you, to, hey, Ben, just make sure you vacuum up at the end of the night because you've got, I think, 1 plane in the corner, 2 on the floor, and 1 somewhere over there, So it's and it's given me an avenue to being able to get people more involved with it. These guys that never, I got a friend that I work with that lives on the south side of Chicago, all right? And is as ghetto as I can make him sound is what this guy is, okay? I got him to fly a Mini Aero. In fact, we were just talking about it. He was the one that was trying to fly my nighttime flyer, crashing into a tombstone because we were out flying at 12:40 at night. you know. So you're affecting people that you don't even realize.
Oh man, well, you guys are taking the tools and stuff. We just get to be the ones that get to be doing it, and making the planes. One thing I want to do better this year, and I feel like I have a lot to go. And Dan, you set the bar high with the Bloody Baron. Is I want to do more community releases because Nerd Nick. There's so many great people popping out. I even feel bad about the tailspin plane. We're going to make sure we give everyone the proper honor that's designed, the conwing before us, because it's not a new thing. It's just like I couldn't use the design enough to keep it original to their plans. But I want to really showcase the community and the awesome planes they design as well too. And I don't think I'm doing a very good job with that.
But you know what, Josh? Excuse me if I interrupted. I apologize.
No.
That was kind of my thing that I brought to the build nights this entire time. Is I said, I mean, we can get on there and do the flight test planes, but I want to see those people that have those original. Oh crap! I ran out of glue in the middle of this. Is those people that have those unique designs and get them out there and flying and show people. Like I don't know if you've seen the Raiden, excuse me, by Kevin Matusik.
Yeah, I love that thing. It's amazing.
And the concept is we're going to take I'm going to talk to him and have him come out or have him come on and actually build one. So that way we get these different community designs to jump on there and showcase and show off. Tommy Amour, Mr. Tommy Love.
Tommy Love.
We're going to get him. He's got a really cool trainer he just finished up.
Awesome.
It's people in the community. We want to showcase them. We love what you do at Flight Fest, and I'm very appreciative, and you know that. But we want to bring the community out there more. We want to bring those guys in that may not get a fair shake, if for lack of a better way.
Well, and the other thing I really love about the guys you described is their models, and this is not anything against exotic, but I mean, I can design some pretty crazy exotic stuff, but at the same time, how many people are going to be able to build it? Easily
Right.
have experience. I really appreciate the Nerd Nicks pushing the foam to the limit, but I really want to see something designed that 90% of the people can tackle and have a good experience at.
Right.
There's nothing in life you don't.
And I don't know. At least from my standpoint, I understand that when you're putting out a design, you have to consider how long is this going to take to cut out on a laser cutter, and how much material is it going to take to make, and you're offering things at a price that is just ridiculously low, and they go together and they make a really nice flying airplane.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't necessarily offer a complex kit at a price that you can offer a really quick build like the Mini Aero. It's a fairly simple kit that pretty much anybody can build for a very small amount of money. So if you were to go make a complex kit, the people that would be invested in buying it is going to be really low, which drives the price up even more. So, I mean, it's understandable. You guys have filled a void in this hobby that has been screaming for people to fill for a long, long time.
Well, I appreciate that. And nice thing now with this water resistant, we don't want to just hold that captive. Right now, I'm pursuing places that will carry it. I want to dream as big as have it be at a Packatan store. You know what I mean? To have an end cap kiosk where people can grab this foam, because I don't want to make it where it's only in our speedboat kits. I want to make sure that just what you guys are doing on the evening, that you can grab this and the things you built will last as long as possible now. And that way, Nerd Next designs that may take a couple days to build, they're not going to just deteriorate the second you wear it, land it in wet grass. And
Like
I'm
his
excited.
A10 design is a perfect example for that.
The
I didn't interrupt.
no. The whole thing with the sea duck and stuff, I've been sitting on that thing for a while. But it's like, why have something that takes all those pods and booms and stuff? Why have that go where the first time you take it out and you can't even fly off of water? So it's going to be really exciting in 2016 to see what people can build and what people can design. Now the biggest thing I want to make sure is that if we have this material and people can go crazy, that they don't have to come through our doors, with our speedboat kits. They can get it on their own terms from their own location. And that was part of the talks with Adams, was to make sure we can use their distribution channels to really pursue, a Dollar Tree or Dollar General, the stuff arriving, because you can do anything with it. You can build the science fair projects and stuff. It keeps paint better. It does everything better. So we'll see if that's a reality. But yeah, going back to that, guys, I love how you're elevating the community and their designs and what they're creating. And I wanna champion that.
And we appreciate you coming on to shoot the bull, since we're keeping it PG-13.
Oh.
Right?
If I could just be a little bit more tech savvy, boy, it would have been 30 minutes ago.
One of the questions that came up on the Q&A was, do you have an ETA on when the foam is actually going to hit the store or possibly be hitting retail stores?
Yeah, we have first wave is of course going to be done through the kits. I think Dan, you have a case of you've been working with it, correct?
Yeah, I was on vacation last week, so I really haven't had much of a chance to really start building with it yet. But I did, like Ben was saying, I did go through and kind of look at it and weighed all the pieces out just to get a comparison and everything like that. But I'm really looking forward to getting into building some stuff with it.
Awesome. So the way it's going to work out right now is we're going to immediately put the cases out for sale, along with when we do the release of the first plane, which will be the Conway L16 Seaback. We're going to have, at that point, cases available for people to get from our store. But the ugly truth of that is, it's $15 to ship the case. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So now you end up spending like $1.50, $1.75 a piece by the time you get it shipped to your door, and you're buying 50 sheets at a time. So we're going to go after Hobbytown USA first, and then there's an event that you go and you actually show your wares. You show that what you have to offer, and then they decide whether they pick it up. I'm going to be at that event, and I think it's in May. So the plan is that way, at Hobbytown USA, it's there. At the same time, I'm working with Adams to get them to reach out to Packet Cans, Doing Fabrics, and understandably, I can't even, obviously get through that door because they don't know what flight test is.
Right.
But Adams has a relationship, so I'm incentivizing Adams to say, hey, look, we don't even need to take a picture of your channels and let me come in and show them what they can build with this, and pitch the way you guys can have it hopefully at a local craft store. But this will be released right after the next release is the F-22 and the Vector. This is coming right after that, and we're going to push it as quick as possible. So hopefully within 2 weeks after the Vector and the Mini are released, we'll have the Conwing and the distribution channels up for that. And
Awesome.
when you look at the end of the day, the foam board, for 50 sheets of it, that's a lot of airplanes. So the cost per plane is way down. It's just it's just an investment.
Yeah. Hey, Joel, you there? Pull my video up for just a sec.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Sorry, guys.
This is going to get scary.
I just want to show Josh something here I'm pretty excited about here.
Josh Bixler is putting 2 new planes out there? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, there it is. That's pretty awesome.
I'm pretty excited about that, Josh.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
Put it away.
I'm looking forward to seeing that thing actually fly, Patrick. You've been talking that thing up for a storm, so I'm looking forward to seeing it in the air.
It's pretty nice.
What size EDF is on that?
55 millimeter.
Oh,
55? Which airframe is that?
The Vector.
Oh my gosh. Peter's going to kiss you. Not
He
really.
laughed at me.
Yeah, he laughed at
He
him.
said it was
wasn't
too
big
small.
enough.
You know what? He laughs at everybody. Don't take it personally.
I don't, but he's impertinent. I'm going to go get him.
You do that. That's awesome. Have you figured out how fast it goes yet?
All I know is this. I just got the electronics in the mail yesterday, so as far as servos and stuff. So it flies vertically out of my hand. That's all I know at this point.
That's all that matters.
That's right.
Well, we were just discussing
Beautiful.
this. Remember, with enough application of power, anything will move.
Hey, you can make a barn door fly.
The F4 is a living example.
Oh, yeah, the bumblebee principle.
Yeah, little tiny wings. Well, it works out good when they lose half their wing, they can still fly home.
Yeah. So for those of you out there like Benjamin and Alex, you bunch of jerks, I have actually built a plane, as you can see.
Look at that!
Hey.
Holy snikes, it's almost complete.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm a flying wing kind of guy, and I got to say, I love the layout of the Arrow. It's just really nice.
Thank you.
It really is.
So,
Well,
question for Josh from Austin Yoder: when is the Big Arrow coming out? Is that something you guys are considering making, or?
Oh yeah, we just talked about this a little bit earlier. We stuffed the Big Arrow. Originally, we thought we'd release both, but talking to the guys about like the whole idea of a smooth airfoil and everything, I really want the Big Arrow to be a more involved, more high performance that can actually go into these races and win. Because if someone's going to build a Big Arrow, most likely they're going to be looking for the speed, looking for the distance, and the carrying abilities. I'm talking somewhat out of my butt, but I've had a really good dialogue with like Mr. and Miss Flash Gangster. Just what we did with Schizo and Freybot, we're teaching them to fly. I really want them to give me some feedback on the Big Arrow design because they do it. And I just love the fact that they fly together as a family with their kids. So I wanna go down to Texas and have their opinions and their assessments and do it. Maybe before Flight Fest. We'll see if we can get it knocked out, and maybe early just before Flight Fest. But yeah, that's going to be a reality. I just really want it to be I'll call it the crinkle style airfoil. I want it to be a very smooth airfoil.
Nice.
That people like building. So
Excellent.
and I'm going to butcher this word, and it's so funny because everyone's like, why are you guys still going to the crinkle style or the fold airfoil? My dad told me something, and I don't know if it was just an old tale or not, but there was a term called turbulators that he always used, and he told me about all the old timers. If you look at their like the Telemaster, in a lot of these planes they have long strips of balsa running horizontal, causing little bumps in the leading edge, and they didn't shoot over that. And what my dad told me is that actually caused elements of resistance much the same as vortex generators, and gave it a lower speed but a higher lift. And that's why a lot of the old-time planes that had very high lift airfoils, they left that exposed. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know, but what I did notice is I've built a very smooth Kraken, and I've built the ones with the folds. And the ones with the folds actually had a better stall characteristic than the one that was smooth.
They
But
slow
when you go
down
to
a little bit better too.
You get a turbulence over the top edge that makes the boundary layer thicker, so it detaches later, maybe.
Exactly.
Here we go,
More.
Mr. Earthside Teach with your technical terms.
You got it though. And where vortex generators actually induce a spiral going down and cause the boundary layer to stick, I don't think these do the same, but I do think what it does is it causes the molecules to have that resistance, and that induces a higher level of lift anyway. It just doesn't cause the boundary layer to go back further on the wing. And I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I'm not going to put our foam wings in the wind tunnel to assess that. Maybe you guys at NASA can do that. What I do know, when I build smooth and I build non-smooth, when you go into low speed handling, the folded up wing always has been schooling the smooth wings. But when you're flying a fast wing that you want to hit 100 miles an hour, you don't need to worry about that. It's meant to go fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that being said, the big wing should be a reality. I'm thinking just before Flight Fest, but I really want to. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I want more people from the community to be on our shows. I'm getting uglier every day of my life, and so are all the other guys. I want to give the foundation. Oh, dead, sexy, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I do want to. I want to use the foundation you guys have given us to celebrate people from the community. Did you guys see Teddy Coughlin in one of the more recent episodes? The MQ.
The young guy? Yeah.
Yeah, I want Teddy on the team when he turns 18, man. He is such a wealth of knowledge, and my only grievance is that we couldn't have him on more of the episodes. We couldn't shoot more episodes with him because what an amazing designer.
That's really cool. That's
15
really
minutes.
awesome, Josh.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
Good.
and that was a great episode.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. And I tell you what, everyone that comes out of community, they school us. I'm happy it's not based on talent, the fact that I have my job, because I'd be done. What these guys are doing and these kids are doing is just outstanding. So we're gonna do a little bit more travel budget. It means we're not gonna get to flying events as much, because we're gonna use that budget to actually have people on the shows, rather than saying, hey, come out and see us. We're gonna turn that around.
Well, and you know what? I was wondering, because the last couple of years you guys had plans and you traveled quite a bit, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, you're taking the whole team, and your team is small, and you guys kind of do every aspect. That had to be a major hit in terms of being able to keep up with orders and designs of new products. I mean, that had to be really hard.
It was totally worth it. And you know what? It was as much a bonding experience for us, and a good inoculation to just see, what a blessing of a community we have. And that was really one of my biggest goals about shoving everyone in the RV, was let's go on a road trip and let's go ahead and meet the people that are responsible for your full-time job, and build those relationships. This year we come back. I'm sure you guys know that there's a lot of little babies in the families.
Yeah.
Allison, they kicked those suckers out like crazy, but it seems like there's babies popping out of everywhere. So, one of our values is obviously, keeping the family ties close, and that has a hard effect when you're saying, hey, let's travel for a week. So this year, we're not doing Joe Mall, we're not going to do Ceph, we're going to be doing Flight Fest in Oshkosh, and then, obviously we did AMA Expo, but we're going to try to save up that stuff for a Flight Fest West, that travel, and then make events that we can come to that kind of carry our culture and everything. But eventually, I'd like to pick one other event a year besides our own personal events that we go to.
Did I just hear you say Oshkosh?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to try
Yeah.
to say.
Well, we already have plans to camp in Dan's yard, so.
I still I haven't asked Tiffany yet. I hope she's not listening.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. How close are you to Oshkosh?
20 minutes.
Hey, how big is your yard?
It's pretty big. We got enough room. Yeah, Keegan and I actually, since Keegan's been born, he's gone to every single air venture. So this year will be our 18th year in a row. It's kind of a family tradition.
Weren't you saying Keegan's going to be helping out with something too this year too?
As far as what?
I don't remember. I just remember him talking when me and you were talking one night. He was saying something about going up there and he's going to be working it.
Yeah, he actually worked in one of the booths for one of the vendors at EAA last year, selling flight headsets and stuff. So he's going to probably be doing that again this year too. But we'll spend a day walking through our adventure though, like we always do.
And you know what's amazing is I think Oshkosh for me is 4 hours away, just about, and I've never been. And
Dude,
oh my
you gotta
gosh.
go.
Well,
That's
I was
crazy.
already talking about going next year, but and now if I could see the infamous Josh Bixler and crew there, I might just have to make a point of it.
So
Josh,
Josh,
you're
are you guys
infamous.
going in a business capacity, or are you guys going to just see the show?
It's a big fat yes. We're going to do both. EAA after the AMA Expo, you guys saw what we were doing with the Sparrows and everything. They got on board with us, and they're going to be using a lot of our designs and our model for both FT STEM and the flight test model to.
Awesome. For the Kid Venture?
For Kid Venture, yes.
Excellent.
So we're looking at being at 2 locations, and this is, so if I'm wrong on any of this, it's literally we had the meeting last week and it's in its infancy, but it's guaranteed we're going to be there. Whether it's fun or work or both, we're going to be there.
That's awesome.
But
Hey, if you need any volunteers to help out with doing some builds at Kid Venture, let me know.
oh, that would be a blessing.
that sounds
Kid
pretty
Ventures and Innovations is where they want us to put it, the Innovation Center and Kid Venture. But what I want to do with the guys and stuff is have them hopefully bring their spouses. I want this to be a kind of like a flight test vacation too, where we have them working, but then we also can make it, because it goes 24/7 there,
Right.
We can have
Yep.
also when everything shuts down, we can see the flight line and everything, and have some fun.
Yeah, last year actually it was the first year they actually had RC flying event during AirVenture as well, and Keegan and I got to go up there. I flew my Bloody Baron around there for a while, and the Goodyear blimp was flying overhead. It was pretty amazing. I took a few pictures and posted them on
Nice.
Instagram.
Well, and this year I'm kind of torn. You guys know I got a full scale plane now, right?
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
Pete and Pull. Yep.
People.
That was why I was late getting back here. Today was the first nice day of weather, and I had a whole bunch of hardware to replace on it, and I was dying to see if I could get someone to hop it in the air. I had this fear of dying, and wanted to have a competent pilot make sure that it was put back together well and rigged well. But unfortunately, the runway was too wet still. But the goal that I've been dreaming about ever since I was little was to go to Broadhead, and you guys know what Broadhead flying is?
I do not.
I do not either.
Okay, Broadhead is only I think like 40 minutes away from Oshkosh. It's the week before Oshkosh, and so what it is where it's the Pete and Pull air campers, the Wacos, the old vintage barnstorming types of plane, even some old Curtiss designs. They all kind of flock to this old field and fly for a week, and it's really just a whole bunch of primitive airplanes, and it's predominantly dominated by Pete and Pulls because I guess Broadhead is kind of like an adopted area for it. So what they do and what my good friend Frank Pavliga and his crew do, they get together and they take out a barber and they fly about 100 miles and they land in a little hayfield. And then sure enough, a couple other buddies from around that part where they landed join in with them. So it goes from 2 people, and I believe it ends up with about 15 people just literally dropping into hay pastures and pushing their planes off to a gas station across the road and having ice cream and camping under their wings and running from storms all the way to Broadhead. And
That's pretty awesome.
That is.
I want to live that journey and hopefully survive it. But the goal would be actually after Flight Fest would be if I get enough hours and I'm a competent enough pilot to join them this year, that I'd probably just tie up my plane at Broadhead and then have one of the guys pick me up on the way and then bring me to Oshkosh. And then so I'll probably smell really bad and look really bad, but I wanna experience that barnstorming, sleeping under your wing adventure, where you look down at the cow pasture and say, yeah, there's you can walk to get gas from there and drop in.
Yeah, I totally understand, buddy.
So
Thanks.
for those of you that are still following along with the build, because
Oh, we're building. Yeah, I forgot.
this is what
You're
they
never
call
gonna
building
this.
right? I mean, we'll go with it. Yeah, so I screwed up. Not that I would ever do that. I was just following Pat's example. Is I forgot to cut the score lines so I could peel this foam on the side. So it's an easy fix. That's why I'm doing it now versus like having it already pre-done. Because I'm a moron.
Ben, you're doing phenomenal. And
Well-
I just want to jump in for a second because I know I was, kind of bailed on you at the last second for a birthday party.
Yeah, for a 13-year-old.
Yeah, creeping on a 13-year-old girl's birthday party.
Hey, you know what? When she texted me at work to say, I want you to come to my birthday party,
Stop.
dropping everything and saying,
It
hey,
only
you know
makes it
what?
worse, Eddie. It makes it sound worse.
That's my best friend's daughter. I had to make sure. I had to make sure that I've been around since she was born. I had to make sure I was there for her.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, Eddie, what's up?
I just want to take a minute, Josh. I really appreciate you being here. This has been just an awesome experience. Seeing just an idea that Pat and I threw around turn into something as awesome as this. This is. I know with Flight Test you understand, having that dream kind of come true for something. And Ben, you can laugh all you want, buddy.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I got to show you what I just did because I screwed up something.
Hey, Ben, our favorite Canadian, Andre, is asking you how long it takes you to build an arrow.
Okay. Barring outside
What time is it?
distractions, it usually an hour, if that. With these guys,
So
we've
far, 2 hours and 15 minutes, but
Look, with,
we're not
with
done
these
yet.
guys, you are lucky I'm this far. Okay. No, what I'm laughing about, Joel, if you can show the overhead real quick, is so I got the hatch and I'm putting it on and I'm trying to form the foam and I went and rolled it just a little too hard.
Hot glue, buddy.
Hot
glue
glue tape, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Done.
foaming. Yeah,
Yeah.
trust me, that's what it's gonna be.
Or just grab two popsicle sticks.
Ah, we're
Josh,
gonna
can you
go
get
check-
a little closer to your camera?
Yeah, I couldn't see that one eyebrow.
Oh.
Hey, can somebody ask Andre how long it takes him to fix his FT racer?
Oh. And actually, I'm not even talking to him because he's sitting there gloating about having his carbon fiber parts, his wings
Right,
and his belly
for the
sticking
arrow,
wings,
yeah.
So,
That looks pretty cool, though. I do have to say.
oh yeah.
Ask Andre, was that 3D printed? It looks really cool.
I think the cage for the body is definitely 3D printed, but he also got some carbon fiber wing tips and like a belly plate, I think, that he's putting on there.
Yeah, he got a winglet and a belly plate, and then he got somebody really local to him actually printed that 3D cage for the power pod.
Nice.
And,
it looks fantastic.
I'll make a shameless plug here. Not that I'm getting anything of it, but RC Hangar Parts, a buddy of mine named Michael Anthony down in Florida. Fred actually used them. He was the one that made those 3D printed parts for the Versacopter a while back before you guys went to the aluminum stuff. Is talking about actually doing 3D printed cages for this, and because Andre was showing me his that his buddy was doing, and I thought the greatest thing about it was that it not only would take a standard 1806 2204 motor mount, but he was also putting it for something bigger like a Supo 2208, because let's face it, we need more power. More power.
Try the 2208s and the there's a Graupner motor that I'm playing with on the Versacopter called a 2809, and
The race
that was what. If you guys saw the 300Q episode, after I flew the 300Q, I called Manny up and I said, "Get me 4 of those motors now," because it had such a ridiculous amount of power. I think it'd just throw the wing to nothing. I think a 6-inch 3-blade, 6.5 would be nothing for this thing to move. But yeah, 2300 kV on a 4-cell with a 6-inch prop would be pretty nuts.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm all about getting crazy stupid, as we've already established. For E-Fest, I took one of Dan Spawn's Bloody Wonder 3s, and just for poops and giggles, I threw a 2204 on it just to see what it would do, because why not? I mean,
Yeah.
What's the worst that happened? You ripped the wing in half?
No, we found out that even with a 6.4.5 prop on it, and that 2204 likes to torque roll like nobody's business. So it didn't
Nice.
work too well.
That's awesome.
Eddie, I didn't get to thank you and stuff. You said some nice words. Thank you, man. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely, sir. And as much as I would love to hang out, I've got a 5:45 a.m. flight, and we spring forward tonight, so I really should be going to bed, or Wendy's going to kill me.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
So,
Hey, Wendy, everybody says hi. She's hollering hi from upstairs.
I'm listening for an inappropriate response.
Yeah, no kidding.
She won't do it today. She knows Bixler's here. She'll be
Oh.
sweet as pie.
have I become the Mr. Rogers of the flight community or something?
Well,
No, we'll just say that you keep us in check and
yeah.
you keep
We
us
tend to mind our P's and Q's a little bit
Yeah.
better, that's all.
the adults better when you're here.
As long as the guys end it with a hug, I don't care.
The
Well,
Viking wants to know if the Pete and Pole is going to be at Flight Fest this year.
As long as I don't ground loop it.
Yeah, well, we all hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, it's a matter of fact, there could be something really cool. The EAA is actually looking to be there as well too. We may have 10
really?
At
scale
Flight Fest?
at Flight Fest. They're going to be
Crazy.
yeah, it's guys. I can't express like the doors you've opened up for us is incredible. But and a lot of people are concerned like with our love for full scale too, thinking, oh, are you guys just moving away from the hobbies? It's like no, I don't know anyone that loves model aviation that says, man, those full scales stink. I hate those things.
Who would want to fly a
I
big
think there's
airplane?
one guy on the forums.
Yeah, I did see him. And I don't blame him for being upset because I probably didn't articulate that I'm trying to make 3 episodes a week, not take up what was in 2. And I didn't do a very good job of communicating that. But we were shooting today, and when I say we, I mean me. This whole thing with Full Scale Fridays is not going to be like, we can't do challenges like irresponsible stuff like we do with the models. And you definitely don't want to encourage people to throw it together. What this is going to be with Peter and me, we're going to showcase the Pete and Pole being a scratch build and the Fisher Super Koala being a kit build. We're going to just go through the process of what we're experiencing and the little tribal bits of information that maybe intimidates people, like, what's an AN bolt? How do you safety wire? Should I get my LSA or should I go right for a private? So we're going to just organically document what we're doing, and as we're doing it, we're going to just record the experience and be really heavy on what we've learned. So today, for instance, my hardware on my plane is 28 years old. And when we took it apart, it's a perfect opportunity to put some new bolts in it. So let's talk about why you don't go to Lowe's and buy bolts, and why you go to Aircraft Spruce and pick up an AN bolt, and why it's 5 times more expensive, but also 5 times stronger. And thread counts, cotter pins, safety wire, lock nuts here, castellated nuts there. That's what I really want people to know, and I want them to look at something like this, this right here. See it right here? Oh. So
Sorry.
This here is the tail for people I'm building at home. And
What was
right
a tail?
it was a tail, yeah. So that tail is about, I think, $38 in material to build. So you can build one. Anyone can build one. It's just you got to do it right. You got to have the right skill, and you got to make sure it's unsafe. And that's what
I'm going to interject. I'm sorry, Josh. Carry on.
Oh no.
Oh, he had back.
I was just going to pipe in just for a hot second because we actually have one of our team members who's heading out for the evening. Eddie, you just wanted to say a quick thing before you left?
Yeah, Josh, I appreciate it. Ben, you have been awesome tonight. I really appreciate you going through all of this without me here to help you with my sickness and now leaving to go work for a week.
It's fine. Joel's doing an absolutely fantastic job, so.
Guys, much love to you. I really appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Josh, don't break anything.
Hey, good night, Eddie. Have a safe trip, bro.
See you, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie, be safe, and we'll talk to you, buddy. Love you too, man.
Have fun in Houston.
Absolutely. You guys be good.
Have a great one, and we'll see you real soon. Back to Josh. Don't break that tail
Let
point.
me interject because I know we're still trying to actually do this build
Yeah.
right.
Sorry, Ben.
No, you're fine, man. I love this, man. Hey, trust me, and I want to say thank you because, in all honesty, when I had contacted you about coming on, I figured you'd come on a couple minutes, be really bored, say, hey, we really appreciate what you guys are doing here at Flight Test, and bye. So this has been actually pretty freaking awesome. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. What step are you on right now?
Gluing the power pod in, or the center pod. The one thing I did want to bring up for me is the servo center hole right here. With a laser cut, it's no big deal to cut a oval shape. So I tend to just box it out. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just for ease of building. But as you can see, other than my little mistake there, in putting control horns in, guys, and some push rods, I mean, we've got a plane. So tonight can be somewhat considered a success. I mean, if we want to go that far, I'll get that brazen here.
Well, Ben, you did have a guy that never shuts up on your show, so.
Hey, well, that's all right.
Yeah, but he invited Pat, so.
Yeah. So.
I thought we were talking about Joel.
Hey, as I said, I was the one being super quiet tonight, right?
Yeah, he is.
I promised I would.
Yeah.
I promised I would, and I have been. So guess what? I'm going back out again. Bye.
Love you, bro.
No, you know what? It's that was the whole concept. Is I don't know if you saw the trailer, my little trailer video that I did, Josh, about this.
Yeah.
I quite frankly pointed out to people if you want to watch one guy build a arrow or build a Sparrow or the F-22 or whatever it is, flight test related, go watch Josh Bixler because he does it better, has a bigger budget, and is obviously so much more handsome. But if you want to come on in the slapstick humor and the plucky comments, as we've been calling them all night, I mean,
Colorful
this is your place.
commentary.
You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing, guys, is what's going on here in this show is really what everyone should see more than eight knuckleheads in front of a camera with two drones screaming around the head, showing them from different angles. This is real, and people can get together and do exactly what you're doing and have a real experience. And what flight test is, we obviously we're friends that care about each other and fly together. But what you're doing here with these people all over, 29, 25 people, is a real relational thing where you can have dialogue, you can make memory. In my mind, this is far more important and crucial. And the video stuff is hopefully just to get a community built to have this take hold. But this is really the special thing. And I don't say that tongue-in-cheek either. I mean every fiber of it. This was the dream of, before Flight Fest even started with the flying outreaches. So thank you, Ben. And Eddie here.
And I keep, and I know Mike's going to chime in here as soon as I say it, so everybody get ready for the blasting. I am a very small part, and I didn't do anything special. All I did was bring a couple people together and give them some technical aspects, and we ran with it, and I'm very happy to do it. I love being able to just sit here and BS with people and build planes and have a good time and whatever we want to do,
Awesome.
Well, I'm not going to blast you, Ben, but I am going to tell you were a huge part of this, and do not sell yourself short, ever, ever, ever.
Hey, I'm 6'5". Selling myself short is literally impossible.
No, that's my job. I'm really good at that, and maybe Joel as well.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Selling oneself short, I'm 5'4", guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Nerd Nick is out there. What's going on, Mr.
Yeah, I was waiting
Yeah,
for an
what's up, Nerd
opportunity to give him a shout out. So, hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, let's here kind of go back since we are trying to do this somewhat well. Ask Josh if he can in V2 cap the back of the wing. I keep getting snow in there.
I think he meant
for
the back of
arrow.
the wing. Yeah, the back side of the arrow.
Yeah, we were actually discussing that. Josh, did you actually read the article from Tested about the arrow that the guy built?
Oh yeah, where he clamped off the back side of it and dropped it down.
Yeah, well, if you kind of see the overhead, I mean, he actually cut it. I contacted him and he got some better photographs. So the pocket edge right here, he just brought it up, kind of at an angle a little bit to get away from the servo hole, so it doesn't create a weak point. And he goes up about to the first or the very last full point or the score line, and just dropped it in and then backfilled the sides, and it looks really nice.
Yeah, it has that awesome fillet. What do you? I'm trying to think how we can keep the build video similar and do it. We could probably honestly just have a radius piece included in the kit and a supplemental, don't you think? Like that would cap it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, something just like that, just to keep the back open area here. I mean, my very first one, I literally just took a piece of scrap foam and took the paper off both sides.
Yeah.
Literally, it just glued it to this edge, and then went back and cut along the top and the bottom, and it capped it off. But I like the look of what he did with that dropping that back edge down. Just me personally.
Yeah, no, it was that was an awesome article and stuff. Yeah, I'll see what I can do, and if anything, cap off this design, and when we go to a bigger wing, take that and apply it to the larger one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Andre won't shut up about his 2S carbon fiber arrow. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Carbon fiber.
As Bjorn, yes, you missed the whole Pete and Pole conversation. Will the Pete and Pole be at Flight Fest, Josh?
Oh, I asked that question already.
Yes.
Josh said it would
right.
be.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't ground loop it.
As long as I don't ground.
Right. And hey, Asbjorn, it might be like 1 in the morning there, but you got to keep up, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Love you, brother. And hey, Robert Brightbill, that's one of my club members right there.
Hey, cool.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, welcome, Robert.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know this, but Robert, is your wife's name Michelle? Because she won something at the swap meet today. Michelle Brightbill did. Just wondering.
We'll have to wait for that answer. Um, so, kind of trying to continue, and please, you guys do it. I'm just going to show real quick. Since I tend to bring mine in a little
Nice.
hard and fast because Lord knows I can't, slow down in anything I do. I just get a paint stir, and I'm going to score it and make it into a little belly skid because I don't have carbon fiber, Andre, because I'm poor. So this is the hillbilly version, okay?
Hardware Hank.
Hardware Hank. So
My favorite kind of build is the hillbilly build.
I don't know if I mentioned and stuff with the whole thing with the EA coming. Our goal is going to be, and I don't know, there's a lot of things contingent on this, but is to possibly get like 10 really cool stretches of aviation in full scale form at Flight Fest for people to see. So obviously, yeah, the Pete Pole's going to be there. Peter Superqual is going to be there. RV6, but we're going to try to see if we can reach out to some really good operational full scale planes and have them on display for people to see.
that's cool.
There.
awesome.
So, yeah.
So
And
what
the
else
reason
is the? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna say the reason I was saying about ground looping and stuff. My whole intentions of Pete and Poles was to get the fat, low pressure tires, kind of like the Clip tires with the split gear, and I got a very pure 1928 version Pete and Pole. I feel blessed to have, but it has a skinny little bicycle tires on a straight axle. So
Oh boy.
it's definitely something I'm gonna get lots of time in before I put my kid in it, because you don't want to land crosswind with skinny bicycle tires.
Oh God, no.
So basically, there's like no differential. They're just attached with a solid axle.
Yeah, it's literally a straight axle.
Okay.
It's a big piece of steel going across with hubs that the clinchers, or basically bicycle tires, go onto. The good thing I have is I have an anti-rotation bar in there, so it has a real weak set of bicycle brakes, and it'll hold for a run up and stuff, but they're totally useless in stopping quickly. So you still land it and treat it as if you have no brakes, but at least you can hold it for a run up to check before you take off.
Right.
So
right.
that, if I didn't have that, I'd be adding it. But the plane is pure 1930s. It's about as period correct as I think most of them are. It's limited on gauges. The airspeed's out on the strut. Like all the 1920s are. The water gauge is up right by the engine, so you got to kind of look around the passenger shoulder to make sure your engine's not overheating. It's a purist plane, and it's also very rough. It hasn't been rebuilt or reconditioned since it was built 28 years ago. So the fabric is good but tired. There's stains on it. There's parts where people have always rubbed their butts up and down, getting in and out. And I call it a really awesome patina, but when you're 15 feet away, it's just a work of art. And my goal is, as we do more episodes, is over the winters, we'll turn that plane that's tired, and we'll strategically start showing people how to recondition, and that'll show them how fabric's put on, how patches are made, how repairs are made, so we can really, over the next 3 years, really turn it back into a pristine mint condition plane. We just do it one little chunk at a time.
Right. Now, if people don't know, you and Jim grew up with a father who was a pilot, and he owned a Tailorcraft and a Tri-Pacer, and you guys have had this Pete and Pole project for a while now. How far away from having your private license are you?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
obviously, I mean, I'm sure you're a guy who is proficient enough to go out and fly an airplane and land safely. I have no doubt about that. But how many hours away from getting your private are you?
The only thing, and I'm let's see, I think it's gonna be next weekend. I'm gonna be going ahead and getting reevaluated. But all I had left to do was my cross country and my check ride to get my private. And that was back when I was 17. I logged so many hours. I used to skip high school and go down and fly, burn all my dad's fuel. I think I got about 300 hours. One thing I was really bad about was logging them. So I logged them. It was a picture of disaster. But I got plenty of time. Even my flight instructor, where the plane is based, Forrest Barber's my old flight instructor, he was giving me all sorts of grief today, saying, "Well, heck, why aren't you flying it?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get reevaluated. I don't want to be dangerous." And he ripped into me. He's like, "Josh," he goes, "you're not gonna have a problem. You could fly this thing, and you've always flown tail dragger, but I don't know. I got a lot to live for it. I'd rather assume that I forgot everything and be pushed. But technically, all I need to do is probably get a recheck and get a new medical, and then cross country and a check ride. If my you have so many hours under the hood. If that's expired and stuff, I'd have to retake that as well.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. It's funny how your perspective and your self-confidence changes when you have a wife and kids, isn't it? Because, like 20 years ago, you wouldn't have, or maybe 15, 10, whatever, you wouldn't have thought twice about hopping in that thing and flying off. But now it's a different thing.
Well, you're 100% right. And it's the weirdest thing. I remember there was a time I was flying a Telemaster and lost an aileron in the field, and it was a cornfield. And I got tired. I spent 20 minutes looking for it, and I'm like, forget this. And I drove down to Barber Airport and got my dad's DC-65 Tailorcraft. And I just was going up and down, just flying that plane just, 5 miles above a stall, creeping, looking down in the cornrows to find my 3-foot-long aileron. And there's at the time there was a little antenna tower on top of this old LP gas station that's cattywampus to our property. And I was maybe 10 feet above it, and I'd do a pass and I'd be 15 feet away from it. I was terribly unsafe.
Right.
But I felt comfortable. I never put it in a bad situation where I was going to crash. But looking back now, I'd be like, okay, I'll go build a new aileron.
Right. It's just a whole different universe now when you have other people that are dependent on you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I've heard some entertaining stories. Eric and Jim, when they stole your dad's plane, basically. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, when my mom found out about me flying and skipping school, it was funny because I was doing S-turns over the place I worked at the time, building furniture. Well, it was a family friend, and my mom was there picking something up, and she saw Dad's plane doing S-turns. And she knew he was at work, so something didn't match up. And when it finally came clean, my mom was furious, and my dad, all he was asking is, "How many hours did he log? How many hours did he log?"
That's funny.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, I love him.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But the Pete and Pole is near and dear to my heart because it's everything what Flight Test is put into a full scale. Bernard, the challenge he had was he was a cheapskate like me. He wanted to show that people could build a plane for $500 back then, and do it out of common parts from their hardware store, and that's our model.
And yours is really a pure Pete and Pole from a certain standpoint, in that you have a Model A engine in that thing.
Yeah, and it's a 19. I want to say, oh my gosh, I'm gonna butcher the end. I think it's a 1919. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Original Model A engine, not a later production or anything. The guy actually put it, to break it in, he put it in a Model A, and they drove it for 1,500 miles to loosen that engine up. To make
That's
it
so
work.
cool.
And Howard Henderson, the story behind this gentleman is just amazing. He just passed away January 7th, and unfortunately he didn't know me and I didn't know him. I literally found out about this plane in Howard when I was coming back from Iowa from looking at another Pete Pole. That was just atrocious. It was so poorly built and very, very badly misrepresented. So I was a little down because, taking that trip and the money to go down there with cash in hand just to find out it was, not worth the trip. But two people you're going to meet in video and also in person is Frank Pavliga and Don Emsch. Frank is the person that gave me my first ride in a Pete and Pole at the age of, I think it was like 12, 11, something like that. And then Don Emsch is his friend. They both fly Pete and Poles. The oldest flying Pete and Pole, and then the fifth oldest, and I think, well Don's is pretty new. But they all exist on Loon Airport. And they say, you know what, we know this guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that talked about selling this Pete and Pole, but it's pretty rare, and I don't think the guy's going to want to sell it, and it's going to be a premium price because of the history it has. And I called him up and kind of insulted this poor fella because of the price I offered, but it was all I had. And he was like, well, he goes, I'm not calling, I'm not going to sell it for that. And I was like, well, take down my number. He's like, don't worry, I won't be calling you. 3 days later, he called me, and he was a very, very nice gentleman, and he gave me what I consider a real gift. The price and the value in the plane is as much in the story and the history of it as it is the plane itself. The plane needs some love. He used to fly it up and down the coast in Texas and chase wild hogs and roll the wheel over their back, having fun. But every turnbuckle's rusty, every fitting is rusty. It needs a lot of love, but it's safe and it's complete and it's flyable. So I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I went to the best local swap meet that we have took place today, and I went there with Joshua Orchard and a couple other friends, and my friend Jesse. He's out of the Air Force now, just moved back from Montana, and he's going to get his AMP, and we're talking about getting a Tri-Pacer project plane, and I've always loved the Tri-Pacer.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know your dad had one. The Tri-Pacer is such a goofy-looking airplane, but it's brilliant in what it is. But then you look at the PA-20, and it's such a beautiful airplane. Just dropping that tail on the ground makes it so beautiful. But picking it up on its nose, it's silly as heck, but it's still this amazing. The price of these airplanes blows me away. It's a 4-place airplane.
Yep, and it's the price of a Harley Davidson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to chime in here real quick. Sorry, guys. Mike is actually heading out for the evening and wants to say a quick good night to everybody.
Yep. Guys, again, I want to say thank you so much. Ben, fantastic job. Joel, great job. Patrick, you're always colorful. I love you, brother. And, of course, I love all you guys. I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I mean, thanks for everything that you've done so far. And I look for this thing to really get, to get some traction and get going. Josh, thank you so much for coming on, man. It means a lot to me. It means so much to Eddie and Ben. I don't even know what else to say other than thank you guys, and I love you so much.
Have a great night.
Night,
And
Mike.
I'm going to quickly say, I know we've been going for a little while. Let's start getting the final touches on that build and start to wrap this puppy up.
Yep, that was my plan. I just answered you. So just kind of recap, and then you guys keep going. Okay, well, that works too. So I've got control horns installed. Control horns, servo arms, they're all centered up. I'm putting the push rods in now. After that, I'm not installing any electronics tonight, as we talked about, other than the servos. Because, like I said, it's going to be upon your personal preferences and everything. Other than that, all I've got to do actually is throw some winglets on, and we got ourselves, other than the electronics, we got ourselves a maiden-ready plane, which was the whole goal to this. So
Awesome.
Great job, Ben.
Well, I try, but it doesn't always work like I want.
So Ben, if we hadn't been yakking away all night long, how long do you think it would take you to build this?
Less than an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've cranked out a couple for some friends. It's less after I get everything cut out,
Right.
Yeah, once I get everything cut out, I can usually cut through it or glue it all together, and minus the servos, everything in an hour. So, except for I got one stupid linkage stopper that's aggravating the hell out of me.
I'd have to say that the Arrow is probably the first flight test plane that I've built that builds faster than my Bloody Baron.
Huh.
You know what?
You set the bar high with the ease that Bloody Baron is, man.
Yeah,
That was one of those flight test happy accidents, Josh. That really kind of just came from tweaking and modifying the Bloody Wonder more and more. So,
Brother, we still need to get the mini Bloody Baron and Bloody Wonder out, but do the Dan Sponholz fuselage on both of them.
We were talking about that tonight. I love that Spawn's fuselage, that curved with the
Oh,
doublers in there. Oh,
it's
it's
awesome.
awesome.
It's
But
awesome.
hey, Pat, have you
Yeah.
noticed how much of a name dropper Dan is? I think this is like the fifth time in this broadcast he's dropped a Bloody Baron.
Oh my God.
I thought he was promoting it pretty heavily.
Oh.
You know I was gonna have to tease you about it. That's all. I love that plane.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. I gotta tease you because it's fun. And well,
Well,
again,
I
it's
tell
my
you what,
show, and I'll cry if I want to.
I can go upstairs in the garage right now and pull out what my kids are flying, and guess what they're going to be? Arrows and Bloody Barons. So
Awesome. Awesome.
they don't take time for the Bloody Wonders, and I don't blame them one bit. The Bloody Baron is where it's at.
But see, we gotta keep Spawns on his toes and not let him get too big an ego. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should worry about that.
He's not nearly as bad as Fred.
Well, guys, I have an amazing bride waiting for me that I told her I was going to go to bed about 40 minutes ago. And you guys all should go to bed too. It's daylight savings time tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It is daylight savings
Kind of
tomorrow, isn't
forgot
it?
about that.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, we
So
have to change.
I'm just gonna finish up one of these winglet songs, guys, and
So
we're
that
gonna wrap
means
it up.
that what time would it be now? It'd be
This
like,
seems like
we're supposed to go an hour forward or an hour back?
May I just say, it's been an absolute pleasure running controls back here for everybody. This has been a ton of fun watching it kind of from behind the scenes too. Ben, your building has been fantastic. Josh, thank you again. I know that was super last minute that you and I were going back and forth and whether we were going to get it working or not. So thank you very, very much for the persistence. And
Thanks for helping me out with the links and walking me through it, man.
yeah, oh, pleasure. As I said, I'm usually the tech guy for most things, so it doesn't surprise me that I'm still continuing to be that way on this. But again, this has been really good seeing it from the outside, and a huge amount of credit to Ben and Eddie and Patrick and everybody else who was involved in this thing to get it off the ground and moving forward. I do want to mention real quick to everyone who's still paying a visit to us live. These videos are going to be kept on the Flight Test Community Cast YouTube channel so that everybody can enjoy them for future reference, so you can continue to view these in the future. From this point forward, all of our Flight Test Community podcasts are going to have a video capable site as well that we're going to do live episodes and live Q&A. So that I look forward to that coming down the pike, and keep tabs of what's going on the Flight Test Community Cast page. The build nights are going to run independently from the Flight Test Community podcast, but we're still one big family here, and we're going to keep this train rolling.
Ryan Happ
And-
said, "Cooper, scooper."
Hey, Josh. Thank you very much for coming on, and please tell Jen we say hello.
I will do
In
that.
fact,
She's gonna be
you
an
know what,
episode
guys?
coming soon.
You know what? I think we're approaching that 3 hour mark, and literally, guys, just for the use that we're trying to follow along building, we really apologize. We're gonna try to keep it more about building, and we'll still have the plucky commentary, but we want to do it. But as you can see, other than the one winglet missing on this side, we're done. I mean, this is ready for electronics, ready to get painted or whatever you guys want to do, and go from there. So I think this is a good spot to wrap up. If everybody could just stay on, I'd like to say something afterwards. I know, Josh, you wanted to bounce off, but if you can give me just a few moments.
Oh my gosh,
after.
yeah.
And but I wanted to tell everybody again, thank you guys for coming on. We appreciate it. This is going to be some growing pains, and we understand that as the flight test community cast build nights. We're only going to get better from here, and we're definitely looking forward to it. Look forward in probably, I'd say the end of March. We're going to start kind of opening up, and if you guys have some suggestions, put it on the Flight Test Community Cast Facebook or on the Google Plus page about some people you'd like to see, and we'll start contacting them and maybe get a poll going or something. So please, obviously, go to flighttest.com with Mr. Bixler, and appreciate the support there. Flight Test Community Cast on Facebook, on YouTube, Google Hangouts, Google Plus, FT groups. I think we're everywhere. We're getting to be like a disease now. So
Don't forget email.
email, yes, emails, or you guys can contact me on the forums. A couple people already have. I just set up an email tonight, which is buildnights, Nites, because obviously, like flight test, we can't spell right. So it's at gmail.com. So if you guys need to contact us that way or anybody else. So everybody, thank you for being on. I definitely appreciate it. You guys have made this a memorable night for me, and look forward to doing this again with somebody new and somebody else running it, and just having some more good times.
Awesome.
I think that's it. So thank you guys for
Thank
joining
you,
us.
thank you, everyone.
Hey, I just want to say thanks for asking me to be on here with you guys. Really appreciate it. It was fun hanging out with everybody and shooting the breeze.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and we're going to stop the broadcast now, and you guys all have a great night. And remember,
Hey,
go out there and keep building.
Are we gonna open things up for people to jump in and yak
Yeah,
away
well, we can
with
start.
us,
I'll
or-
have anybody that's willing to stay on. I'm not going to because I have to go to work in the morning. But
Yeah,
anybody
me
that wants to
too.
stay on,
Yeah.
they
Hey,
can
Joel,
start doing hangouts.
Can someone shoot me a link to the information? We'll definitely plug this on our end on Facebook to check out your Build Night link to the to this. Gotta get people.
Absolutely.
Pleasure.
Well, thank you guys
Get
very
over
much.
with Ben.
And that's it for the night. So thank you for joining us at the Flight Test Community Cast Build Nights. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and definitely leave us comments on YouTube or on the Community Cast Facebook, so we know how to do this better. You guys
Thanks,
have a great
Ben.
night.
Thank you, Ben.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, guys.
Night, guys.
Good podcast now, Joel.
Good night, buddy.